Dual Cultivation audiobook by Kevin, chapter 376. You killed my disciple. Damn it. Damn it all. Why am I unable to catch up with her? I should have prowess comparable to someone at the peak of the earth spirit realm right now, yet I cannot catch someone who is at the true spirit realm. Mao Yijin cried inwardly as he continuously chased Hong Yuer around the stage as though it was a game of cat and mouse. His sister Yuer trying to stall time and let the pill kill him. Su Yin mumbled loudly. Not only that, but when he dies, she will not be blamed for his death, as we have all witnessed that she hasn't touched him at all, he said. How long do you think it will take before the pill takes that disciple's life? Liu Lanjai asked him. Su Yang narrowed his eyes at the Mao Yijin for a moment before speaking. His eyes are already bloodshot. I will give him 10 more minutes before his life runs out. Of course, that is if they only run around. If that disciple starts using techniques, it will shorten that time. Indeed, after 5 more minutes of running around, Mao Yijin noticed that there was blood coming from his nose, and he stopped chasing Hong Yuer for a moment. Do you dare to fight me? Realizing that he might not catch Hong Yuer, Mao Yijin shouted at her out of desperation. Or are you going to continue evading me like an insect? The Azure Cloud sect is only at this level. Are you trying to provoke a baby with those words? Hong Yuer did not fall for his provocation and continued to remain a certain distance away from him. You are at the peak of the earth spirit realm right now, whilst I am only at the true spirit realm. Only an idiot with an early death wish would fight you under such unfavorable conditions. Then don't blame me if I accidentally kill you. Mao Yijin roared as his body suddenly exploded with an enormous amount of profound qi, shocking the spectators. Father, this is Zai Xingfeng turned to look at Lord Zai, who was staring at Mao Yijin with a frown. Something isn't right. He's clearly only at the first level of the earth spirit realm, yet he's exuding power that far exceeds that. Zai Xingfeng nodded and said, fourth. No, it is comparable to the 5th level right now. After a moment of silence, she asked him, are you going to stop the fight? He shook his head. No, I want to see what the Million Snake sect is trying to do, but if there's an accident, Zai Xingfeng showed a worried expression. Although she might not like Hong Yuer, she did not want Su Yang's fiancé to die while in their presence. Don't worry, I am watching closely. If I sense even the slightest sign that she might be in danger, I will personally protect her. Lord Zai said. Even if he doesn't do anything, he was confident that Su Yang would not let his fiancé die before him. Let's see if you can dodge these attacks, Mao Yijin shouted. Thousand snakes strike, flying purple serpent, Mao Yijin tossed one technique after another at Hong Yuer, hoping it would hit her. But alas, Hong Yuer gracefully dodged all of his technique with ease. Is this all the Million Snake sect has to offer? It's a miracle that you guys managed to become an elite sect at your level. Hong Yuer casually scoffed at him. How can this be? None of my attacks are hitting her still. I need to use more strength. Thinking that, Mao Yijin released even more profound qi. Cough. However, a few moments later, he suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood. A few more seconds later, blood also flowed from his ears. It looks like your time is almost up. Hong Yuer stopped moving after noticing Mao Yijin's state. What did you do to me? Mao Yijin looked at her with bloodshot eyes. He was convinced that Hong Yuer did something to his body without him noticing. Me. I didn't do anything to you. You did this to yourself. Bullshit, devil's empowerment. That was the medicine you took before our fight even began. It will significantly increase your strength for a short time, but at the same time poison your body. After consuming the pill, you are fated to die, / why you are lying. Why would my sect master feed me poison? / Mao Yijun refused to believe her words that his own sect master would harm him. / Why would I lie to you? There's no reason for me to do that. In fact, I can sense another poison in your body besides the devil's empowerment. If I recall correctly, it should be the spirit conversion poison. / Hong Yuer shook her head and continued, / If only you stopped after consuming the spirit conversion poison, you would not have to lose your life but only your future as a cultivator. Not even an immortal can save you now. / Mao Yijun turned to look at Fu Quan with a devastated expression. However, before he could even open his mouth to ask questions, his body began falling, losing his life before it even touched the floor. Mao Yijun's sudden collapse surprised many people, and Zai Dong quickly shouted, /Doctor, /. Sometime later, after checking Mao Yijun's pulse, the doctor spoke while shaking his head, / His dantian is cracked and empty, almost like a dried-up well, and his spiritual veins are snapped. It's unfortunate, but he's dead, / what? / Not just the spectators but even Fu Quan was shocked by Mao Yijun's death. Was it the pill? Fu Quan cried inwardly. Since there are only a few devil's empowerment available, he did not properly test the pill, hence why he couldn't have known all of its effects. This is not good. They cannot know that I was the one who gave him the pill. Thinking this, Fu Quan immediately went onto the stage with an enraged face and pointed at Hong Yuer while shouting, / You killed my disciple. How dare you kill him? What did he do to you to deserve this? / Chapter 377 Seeking for Justice / Nonsense. There's no way my disciple could have killed your disciple. / Azure Cloud Sect's Master Gu Guanting jumped onto the stage and defended Hong Yuer. / Everybody here has witnessed the match. My disciple did not even touch your disciple. / I don't know how she did it, but I am certain that she killed my disciple. / Bullshit. Where's your proof? / Gu Guanting shouted in anger. Although 10 million spirit stones is an astronomical amount of wealth, the Azure Cloud Sect can survive without it. However, Hong Yuer's reputation and safety is another story. If she takes the fault for Mao Yijun's death, the Million Snakes sect will definitely go after her, especially after how she basically slapped their entire sect in the face in front of millions of people today. / Proof. What proof do I need other than how she's been cruelly beating my disciples today? She clearly has a grudge against us for whatever reason, and she finally couldn't resist her urges and killed one of them. / Fu Quan then turned to look at Lord Zai and bowed to him. / Your Majesty, this subordinate seeks justice for his disciple. After watching their performance today, I am certain that the Azure Cloud Sect is harboring some kind of malicious intent towards the Million Snakes sect. Not only did they smear dog shit on our faces in this friendly tournament, but they also killed one of our most talented disciples. Our Million Snakes sect has never done anything to offend them. We do not deserve any of this. / Lord Zai narrowed his eyes at Fu Quan and sighed inwardly. As expected of Fu Quan, he's a sly man with a glib tongue. However, before he could even say anything, Gu Guanting also stepped forward and said, / Your Majesty. There are millions of people here that have watched my disciple's every movement. There's simply no way that she could have killed him without being noticed at all. Although I cannot explain her unnatural behavior today, I am willing to bet with my position of sect master on the line that she did not kill him. There must be another reason why Mao Yijun collapsed. / After a few moments of silence, Lord Zai spoke. / Sect Master Fu, I understand your frustration and sorrow, as this is truly an unfortunate event. However, I have been watching the entire time, and I did not see anything that could blame Hong Yuer for Mao Yijin's death. With that being said, until we fully investigate the cause of Mao Yijin's death, I shall postpone my judgment. // T thank you, Your Majesty // Gu Guanting immediately showed a relieved smile and clasped his hand to show his gratitude. However, Fu Quan only stood there with an unpleasant expression. /B, but Your Majesty / enough. I understand that you want to resolve this as soon as possible, but until we know what caused Mao Yijin's death, there is nothing we can do. Zai Dong, I will leave this matter to you. Yes, Your Majesty Zai Dong immediately responded. Since there will be no more matches after this one, I shall excuse myself for now. After saying those words, Lord Zai, along with Zai Xingfeng, left the arena. Once the Zai family was no longer present, Fu Quan turned to look at Gu Guanting and Hong Yuer and said, don't even think for a second that this is over. You killed my disciple, and the Million Snakes sect has never failed to repay our debts. We are leaving. Fu Quan quickly turned around and began walking out of the arena with his disciples. During this entire time, the spectators were silent. But once the Million Snakes sect exited from the Colosseum, they grew rowdy. Good heavens. The Azure Cloud sect actually defeated the Million Snakes sect, kicking them out on the first day. This is something nobody here expected. It's unprecedented. The Million Snakes sect has always been arrogant and unbearable. I cannot imagine what they are feeling after today's embarrassing defeat. Not only that, but it was sheer dominance from the Azure Cloud sect's side. And this was all made possible by Fairy Hong, brother. I am worried about Sister Yuer. What if the Million Snakes sect goes after her because of what happened today? Su Yin asked him. Knowing the Million Snakes sect and their vengeful nature, that's very likely. Liu Lanjai sighed. If you are worried about your fiancé, why don't you ask the Azure Cloud sect to join the alliance? Bai Lihua suddenly suggested. This will make the Million Snakes sect think twice before they actually decide to do anything. Don't worry. I have a feeling that she will be fine even without our help. With that being said, getting the Azure Cloud sect to join us is not a bad idea. I will talk to them when I have the chance, said Su Yang. A few moments later, Zai Dong spoke loudly, congratulations to all of the winners today. We will be conducting another lottery for your next match shortly after this. As for the spectators, thank you for coming today, and we shall see you again tomorrow for the second day of the regional tournament, well, let's see if we will get a chance to fight tomorrow, Su Yang said as he stood up. Sometime later, all of the sect masters whose sect won today gathered at the same place. After everyone picked their number, Zai Dong began writing down the matches for tomorrow. Who picked the blank this time? Zai Dong suddenly asked. A tall and bulky middle-aged man raised his hand a second later. When the other sect master realized the identity of this man, they all heaved a sigh of relief. Thank heavens nobody will have to fight the Burning Lotus sect for tomorrow's match. Right. Getting matched with the Burning Lotus sect is akin to having an automatic loss. Now with the Burning Lotus sect out of these sect masters' minds, they all focused on their next opponents. Yellow River sect. Do you know about this place? Su Yang asked Liu Lanjai about their opponents for tomorrow. They are a pretty famous place that is only 300 miles away from our own place. Although they cannot be compared to an elite sect or the Azure Cloud sect, they will be a worthy opponent for us. I hope so, or it'll be too boring. Su Yang said with a smile. Chapter 378 Second day of the tournament. Who will you be fighting tomorrow? Lihua approached them after she got her number and match. The Yellow River Sect, lucky you, she said. Why do you say that? Liu Lanjai raised an eyebrow. At least you have someone decent to fight. The Heavenly Swan Sect's match for tomorrow is just some average sect. Compared to the Golden Altar Sect, they are much worse, so my disciples will not get the chance to display their true talents. Is that something to be unhappy about? Liu Lanjai didn't know how to react to Bai Lihua's words. If it was her, she would gladly accept that free victory with a smile on her face. Anyway, now with the Million Snakes sect out of the way, the only powerhouses I have to worry about is the Divine Sword sect, the Burning Lotus sect, and maybe the Azure Cloud sect, said Bai Lihua. Speaking of the Divine Sword sect, how come they were not in any of the matches today? I also don't see their sect master here, Su Yang said as he tried to look for Elder Zhang's face. Because they were the last regional tournament's champions, said Bai Lihua. They won't have to participate in any matches until the last day. Is that so? After everyone has their match for tomorrow, they all return to their lodging to spread the news. Although all of you have an impressive cultivation base compared to them, don't underestimate the Yellow River Sect. They are mostly famous for their illusionary techniques, so beware of that. Liu Lanjai warned the disciples. Don't worry, sect master. There's no way we would lose, Sun Jingjing said with a confident smile on her face. After speaking with the disciples, Liu Lanjai sent them away before speaking with Su Yang in private. What do you think? She suddenly asked him. What do you mean? You have seen what your fiancé, Hong Yuer, can do. She single-handedly defeated the Million Snakes sect. There's also your little sister and the Burning Lotus sect. Are you still confident that we can win this tournament after witnessing all of that? Of course. Su Yang answered without any hesitation. Although Hong Yuer's prowess is a little bit unexpected, it's still within my capabilities. If you say so, Liu Lanjai nodded. On the following day, the Profound Blossom Sect along with half of the city returned to the Colosseum for the second day of the regional tournament. In fact, there seemed to be more people here today than there was yesterday. Damn it. Because I couldn't get into the city until today, I missed the opportunity to witness the Million Snakes sect losing on the first day of the tournament. It was really amazing. I can still vividly recall Fairy Hong beating the Million Snakes sect disciples silly. Most of the spectators were unable to forget Hong Yuer's shocking display of strength and continue to speak of her as though it is still yesterday. Welcome back to the regional tournament, Zai Dong appeared on the stage a few minutes later. There were over 200 sects fighting each other yesterday, and we are now down to 100. Although there will be fewer matches with each day, each fight will definitely be more exciting than the next. Before I start today's matches, I shall recite the rules for those that were not here yesterday. Zai Dong then proceeded to explain the rules again. 10 million spirit stones even if it's an accident. That's quite harsh. I heard there was an accident during one of the matches yesterday. That's right. Mao Yijun from the Million Snakes sect had died on that stage yesterday fighting Fairy Hong. What? Fairy Hong killed him. Although that's the case, the Zai family has yet to punish the Azure Cloud sect for 10 million spirit stones, as they are currently investigating his death. That was rather odd. After Zai Dong finished explaining the rules again, he called for the first match to enter the stage. When will you guys be fighting? Wang Shuren suddenly appeared in the area and asked Su Yang. In the middle he showed her a note with the number 29. Are you the only one here to watch? Su Yang then asked her. Wang Shuren nodded and said, I cannot afford to miss seeing you on the stage after all. After a moment of silence, Su Yang spoke with a smile. Unfortunately for you, I might not have a chance to fight today. You won't be fighting. Why not? Wang Shuren raised an eyebrow. Once I enter the stage, it will no longer be a tournament. Not to mention that the girls will be more than enough to secure our victory against the Yellow River sect. Wang Shuren sighed and said, if only the Burning Lotus sect could remain as calm as you right now. Despite having a dozen disciples at the Earth Spirit realm with us, everyone is feeling uptight about the tournament. Oh. What could possibly cause them to feel anxious? Wang Shuren pointed at him with a bitter smile and spoke. I told them that you will also be in the tournament. Su Yang burst out laughing after hearing her words. They didn't believe me when I first told them that. After all, they have always thought that you were much older than your appearance. Now that they know your actual age, they are trying to convince themselves that you had borrowed your strength from a heaven-grade spiritual treasure, which allowed you to walk on them on that day. I don't blame them for being afraid of me, said Su Yang with a smile. I would also be afraid if I were in their shoes. Meanwhile, Bai Lihua and Liu Lanjai were silently listening to their conversation from the sides, and they couldn't help but wonder what they were talking about. Why would the Burning Lotus sect be afraid of Su Yang? Did he do something to them? Chapter 379. An unexpected opponent. A few hours passed since the second day of the tournament started, and the Heavenly Swan sect had just ended their match in an overwhelming victory once again. However, Su Yin allowed her fellow disciples to have the fun this time. Good work, you girls. Bai Lihua praised them with a bright smile on her face. A few matches later, the Azure Cloud sect stepped onto the stage for their match. However, their opponents, the Cutting Leaf sect, surrendered before even stepping onto the stage, dumbfounding the spectators. They must still be afraid of facing Fairy Hong after witnessing her tyrannical matches yesterday. I would also surrender if I were in their shoes. Fairy Hong is simply too strong. Since they defeated the Million Snakes sect, only the other elite sects will have a chance of winning. After the Azure Cloud sect left the stage, they disappeared from the Colosseum. It will be our match after the next one. Let's start heading downstairs. Liu Lanjai said to her disciples. They all nodded with excitement. Good luck, elder brother. Good luck, elder brothers. Partners. Su Yin waved at them as they left the place with odd expressions on their faces. Half an hour later, it was finally time for the Profound Blossom Sect to enter the area for their first match. For the next match, we have the Yellow River Sect and the Profound Blossom Sect. Once Zai Dong called for them, Su Yang and everybody else calmly walked onto the stage. Sweet Lord, what kind of fairy heaven is the Profound Blossom Sect? All of them have jaw-dropping appearances. When the spectators saw the Profound Blossom Sect and its disciples, all of them were shocked speechless, especially the men when they saw the female disciples that were akin to peerless jade. In their eyes, it was simply a gathering of fairies in paradise. Don't get too excited. They are a dual cultivation sect. Although they may look peerless and untainted, who knows how many men they have cultivated with The people who knew of the Profound Blossom Sect did not waste any time revealing the truth of their true nature, causing many people to feel disappointed or regretful. Damn, so they are all sluts. What a pity. What a waste of beauties. Which uncultured swine just said that? There's a huge difference between sluts and dual cultivators. As the spectators started a commotion amongst themselves, the disciples from the Profound Blossom Sect were all looking at the disciples from the Yellow River Sect, or more precisely, a certain individual from the Yellow River Sect. I am disappointed in you, Li Xiaomo Sun Jingjing shouted while pointing at her. Indeed, the person they were all staring at was Li Xiaomo, who used to be an inner court disciple from the Profound Blossom Sect. However, she was one of many that abandoned them during their drama with the Million Snakes sect, and she joined the Yellow River sect afterward. Su Yang, on Li Xiaomo's face was a complicated expression that didn't know whether to be happy or miserable to see him. Are you okay, Senior Apprentice Sister Li? Do you want to sit this one out? The disciples asked her after noticing her condition. No, I am fine. She shook her head. Sect Master, may I go first? She then asked the sect master. The Yellow River sect's master looked at her with a pondering face for a moment before nodding his head. Although I shouldn't need to say this, even if they used to be your fellow disciples, I want you to fight them with everything you've got. Yes, sect master Li Xiaomo nodded before entering the fighting area. Who wants to go first? Liu Lanjai asked them. I will go. Su Yang suddenly stepped forward, dumbfounding them. I thought you wouldn't participate in this match. Liu Lanjai and the others looked at him with wide eyes. Just this one. He said before approaching Li Xiaomo, whose heart was beating like war drums at this moment. Begin. Zai Dong announced after the both of them were in the fighting area. However, neither of them moved even many moments later. It's been a while, Li Xiaomo, Su Yang said to her with a calm expression. How's life as a disciple there? Are they treating you properly? He suddenly asked her. After a moment of silence due to surprise, Li Xiaomo nodded. It's been half a year, Su Yang. I am enjoying my life as a disciple at the Yellow River sect. They are treating me very well despite being a traitor. Su Yang showed a gentle smile and said, don't blame yourself for deciding to leave on that day. It wasn't a wrong one. No matter what the others may think, I don't blame you or anyone else for leaving on that day, especially given the circumstances. Li Xiaomo's body trembled after hearing his words, and tears began falling on her face, feeling relieved to learn that the man she loves does not hate her for abandoning the sect, something she deeply regretted after leaving for a few days. What the hell is going on down there? Why aren't they fighting yet? That girl. She seems to be crying. The spectators were puzzled by the situation. What's that girl's relationship with Su Yang? They appear to be quite intimate with each other. Even Zai Xingfeng couldn't help but frown. I am sorry to interrupt your grand reunion, but we are currently in the middle of a tournament. You can save whatever you have to say for later. Zai Dong said to them soon after the spectators began getting rowdy. Su Yang nodded and said, Come, Li Xiaomo. Show me what you've learned at your new home. Li Xiaomo also nodded as she wiped the tears off her face, showing him a resolute expression. Then I shall show you just how much I have improved. Here I come, Su Yang. Chapter 380 Fighting Li Xiaomo. After she prepared herself, Li Xiaomo approached Su Yang with a sword in her hands. Profound Blossom Art. Petal Fury. A gentle aura surrounded Li Xiaomo before shooting out of her sword with sharpness. Wah, that's one of our sword techniques. How shameless of her, backslash. Sun Jingjing exclaimed when she saw Li Xiaomo shamelessly use one of their techniques. It was a sword art that any disciple could learn once they become an inner court disciple. Of course, it was only a mortal grade technique. Backslash ho, backslash. Although he did not know of this technique, Su Yang casually dodged the sword strike. Despite being a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect for quite some time, Su Yang has actually never learned any of their techniques, not that he even bothered in the first place. Backslash Profound Blossom Art. Falling petals backslash. Over a dozen consecutive strikes flew towards Su Yang in a quick session. Backslash not bad, said Su Yang as he gracefully dodged them. Backslash although I am no longer a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect, I have continued to practice the Profound Blossom art even after I have left, backslash, Li Xiaomo said. For the next few minutes, Li Xiaomo would continue to display her Profound Blossom art, and Su Yang would easily evade them. Backslash, what is senior apprentice brother doing? Why is he only dodging her attacks? Backslash, Sun Jingjing couldn't understand his intentions. Backslash if he really wants to fight her, it would have already ended long ago. Backslash, Fang Zhelan said. Meanwhile, the spectators were already yawning from boredom. It was as though they were watching a friendly spar between a couple, and that irritated some people there. Backslash, if you do not plan on fighting seriously, get off the stage. Backslash, backslash, that's right. I did not come all the way here just to watch them dance around. Get them off the stage, backslash. The spectators began voicing their complaints. However, neither Li Xiaomo or Su Yang heard their discontent voices, as they were too focused on each other. Backslash, let's see if you can dodge this, backslash. Li Xiaomo suddenly stopped moving and clapped her hands 3 times in a rhythmic manner. Backslash. Backslash. When the 3 claps resounded in Su Yang's ears, his vision blurred for a moment before becoming clear again. However, when he could see again, he was no longer in the arena and surrounded by spectators. Instead, he was in the middle of a desert with nothing in sight, but not for long, as beasts started appearing from the horizon a few moments later, looking like it was a horde of beasts. Backslash an illusion, backslash. Su Yang quickly realized the situation. Meanwhile, in the spectators' eyes, both Su Yang and Li Xiaomo had suddenly stopped all of their movements and stood there with a dazed face. Backslash A. Why did they stop moving again? Backslash. It must be the Yellow River Sect's illusion technique, yellow illusion. Rumor has it that once you are caught inside their illusion, it's near impossible to escape it by yourself. However, the person who cast the illusion cannot move while they are using the technique, so it'll be a standstill until one of them falls. Backslash. Backslash either Li Xiaomo exhausts her profound chi first or Su Yang loses his mind to the illusion. Backslash. Sun Jingjing mumbled. Backslash. How long do you think it'll take Su Yang to break the illusion? Backslash. Sun Jingjing asked Feng Zhelan. Backslash I think it'll take a few minutes at most. Backslash backslash less than a minute backslash said Feng Zhelan without any hesitation. Meanwhile, on the other side of the arena, the Yellow River Sect has already begun celebrating their first victory. Backslash it's over for him. Once someone is caught by our technique, they will never escape. Especially not by somebody still at the profound spirit realm, backslash. Backslash senior apprentice sister Li can control the technique for 6 hours straight. I doubt his mental strength will be able to handle it for that long, backslash, backslash forget about him. Even we cannot beat her when it comes to illusion techniques. Backslash, backslash it's a pity that she'd wasted many years at the Profound Blossom Sect. With her talent, if she was with us from the beginning, she would definitely be one of our strongest disciples. Backslash. Backslash, he should be surrounded by beasts now. I'll give him 10 minutes before his mind collapses. Backslash. The Yellow River Sect's master suddenly spoke with a profound look on his face. Indeed, Su Yang was surrounded by countless beasts right now. However, he was not even the slightest worried. As impressive as it may seem, this illusion lacks many things that make illusions powerful. In the eyes of an expert, this illusion is no different than a child's play. Su Yang slowly closed his eyes and took a deep breath. When he reopened his eyes, the desert and the horde of beasts were completely gone, and he was once again inside the arena. Cough. Li Xiaomo coughed up a mouthful of blood the moment Su Yang broke through her illusion. Impossible. The Yellow River sect's master and its disciples stared at Su Yang with wide eyes and their jaws on the ground. Seconds. It only took him 20 seconds to escape the Yellow River sect's famous illusion technique. The spectators were also shocked by this unexpected outcome. Although the scenery may seem threatening with all the beasts around, it's actually void of such a feeling. I suggest you take it easy and focus on just a few beasts instead of a horde of them, as it will take up more energy and focus to control so many beasts at once. Su Yang explained to Li Xiaomo her faults, even lecturing her. Hearing his words, Li Xiaomo smiled bitterly and spoke, as I thought, it's impossible for me to win against you. Even though I have used up all of the euphoric oil you'd given me, I am still nowhere near your level. Oh right. I did give you some of them. Su Yang recalled that he wanted her to help him with something, but after what happened with the sect, there was no longer any need for any of that. If you want more of the oil, you can always buy them at our Profound Blossom Sect. We will be selling them to the public after the tournament, he suddenly said. Really? Li Xiaomo's eyes immediately brightened. Su Yang nodded. Don't forget your words. I will find you when I have the time in the future. Of course. I am always a man of my words, Li Xiaomo nodded, and after a moment of silence she said, you win this one, Su Yang. I forfeit this match, before Li Xiaomo could surrender, Su Yang raised his hand and surrendered the match, dumbfounding everybody there. Why, Li Xiaomo asked him in a low voice. I did not plan on participating in any of the matches today, so I have lost the moment I stepped onto the stage, Su Yang responded with a calm smile. Don't worry, this won't affect the outcome anyway, Li Xiaomo stared at him with a dazed look, and she silently watched him exit the stage. Although she won the match, she was definitely not happy about it. Chapter 381 A Friendly Warning. What an arrogant idiot to give us a free victory. The Yellow River sect's disciples laughed at Su Yang for surrendering the match despite clearly winning it. However, their sect master was frowning as he saw it as a slap to their face. You are too kind, Su Yang, Liu Lanjai said to him once he returned to their side. What do you mean? Su Yang raised an eyebrow. You purposefully entered the arena so the other disciples wouldn't have to fight her, right? Su Yang smiled and said, I don't know if I'm that nice. I fought her because I wanted to speak with her a little bit, that's all. If you say so, Liu Lanjai said before turning to look at the other disciples and spoke. Besides Fang Zhelan and Sun Jingjing, which one of you want to be next? Why can't we go next? Sun Jingjing showed a surprised expression. The two of you are the Earth Spirit Realm, whilst the Yellow River sect have true Spirit Realm disciples at most. It won't be a competition if the two of you go first. Give the others a chance to fight. Don't worry, you will get your chance if we are close to losing. A few moments later, one of the disciples raised her hand and said, Sect Master, I want to fight. Jinzai, go ahead. Liu Lanjai nodded at the cute girl with a petite body before her. Good luck, Sister Jin. Her fellow disciples cheered for her as she stepped into the spotlight. The Profound Blossom Sect has sent out Jin Roman 11. Although she's only 18 years old, she has already achieved the 6th level of the true spirit realm. Zidong introduced her to the spectators, shocking many of them. She's reached such a high level in cultivation at such a young age, and in a small place like the Profound Blossom Sect. Simply astonishing. Why is such a talented young fairy at a place like the Profound Blossom Sect? If she was nurtured in a proper place, she might have already reached the earth spirit realm by now. The spectators cursed the Profound Blossom Sect for their luck, and for ruining someone as talented as Jinzai. But little did they know that Jinzai used to be an ordinary outer court disciple that was only at the elementary spirit realm half a year ago. Sometime later, the Yellow River sect decided to send out another disciple, as Li Xiaomo had exhausted her profound qi during her match with Su Yang. On the Yellow River sect's side, we have Li Jun, who is at the 5th level of the true spirit realm. Once Zidong introduced the two fighters, he started the fight. Ha! The moment the fight started, Jinzai retrieved the sword by her side and approached Li Jun, who casually stood there with a calm smile on his face. When Jinzai entered a certain range, Li Jun clapped his hands 3 times like Li Xiaomo, instantly tossing Jinzai into an illusion, causing her to stop moving. When the spectators saw this, they all sighed loudly. Don't tell me we have to sit through this for the next 8 matches as well. While the Yellow River sect's illusion technique is truly powerful, it's not exactly the most entertaining to watch during a tournament. However, not even a few moments after Jinzai stopped moving, she started moving again, shocking everybody. Profound Blossom Art, Petal Fury. As Li Jun tried to catch his breath after experiencing a backlash, Jinzai struck him with the same technique Li Xiaomo had displayed against Su Yang, but its movement was much sharper and fiercer. When Li Xiaomo saw this, her eyes widened and she wondered, "No way, who is this girl? How come I don't recognize her? There's no way I could miss someone this powerful in the Profound Blossom Sect." Ah! Li Jun coughed up a mouthful of blood and collapsed onto the floor after being struck by Jinzai. I give up. Li Jun quickly surrendered after seeing Jinzai running towards him once again. There was simply no way he could win against someone that could break his illusion technique in seconds. Su Yang, just how did you train them? One cannot grow so much just from dual cultivation. Liu Lanjai stared at Jinzai with wide eyes, seemingly in disbelief. Given the amount of time they had, because all of the disciples' cultivation bases have exploded in such a short amount of time, Liu Lanjai did not think for a second that it was possible for them to have learned anything else. Did you really think that I would only spend time with them inside a room on a bed the entire time? Of course I taught them a few other things too. Su Yang causally spoke. Besides filling their bodies with his yang qi, Su Yang also taught the disciples some basic sword techniques, which greatly enhanced all of their existing sword techniques. Then what trick did she use to break the illusion so quickly? Trick? There's no trick. After cultivating with me for so long, not only her cultivation base but even her mental strength is on another level. After all, it takes a certain mental strength to endure my techniques, Su Yang said with a smile. Liu Lanjai became speechless after hearing his words, not that she could refute it. In other words, his techniques in bed are much more deadly than the Yellow River sect's famous illusion techniques. Liu Lanjai didn't know whether to laugh or cry after realizing this fact. After Jinzai's victory, the Profound Blossom Sect continued to shock the crowd with their amazing cultivation bases, one disciple after another. What the hell? I would understand it if it's only one disciple, but all of their disciples are ridiculously talented. It's almost like they are all being fed some divine medicine that's allowed them to achieve what they have today. What if that is the case? What if the Profound Blossom Sect discovered some revolutionary medicine that could speed up one's cultivation speed, like how the Burning Lotus sect has their Earth Advancement pills? The crowd speculated like crazy, and many people there became interested in the Profound Blossom Sect, with some even wanting to join them despite their uncommon practices. What do you think about them? The Profound Blossom Sect has too many geniuses given their current situation. Lihua asked Wang Xuren, who was casually sitting beside her. Is it really that surprising? The Profound Blossom Sect will only get more powerful and shocking from this point forth. Lihua turned to look at Wang Xuren with wide eyes. She didn't expect her to have such high views for the Profound Blossom Sect. I never got the chance to ask, but why did the Burning Lotus Sect decide to form an alliance with them? Since you already know the alchemist, there's no reason to form an alliance with them, so it cannot be about the Earth Advancement pills. Wang Xuren showed a mysterious smile and spoke. Don't worry, you will eventually learn the truth, that is, if you continue to be an ally with the Profound Blossom Sect. And as a fellow accomplice, allow me to give you a friendly warning. No matter what, do not offend Su Yang. If you had to offend either him or the entire world, do not hesitate to choose Su Yang, or you will definitely regret it. Chapter 382, winning their first match after hearing Wang Xuren's friendly warning, which basically told her to never betray Su Yang or else she will greatly regret it. Lihua pondered in silence why she would say such a thing. She didn't mention the Profound Blossom Sect, nor did she bother with whoever may be backing him. Su Yang. Just what is so special about him besides his glib tongue and handsome face? Lihua couldn't comprehend why Wang Xuren is being so loyal and respectful to a mere youngster who is only at the age of 17, especially when she's cultivated for longer than he's even been alive. Lihua narrowed her eyes at Su Yang, who was casually watching the matches with a relaxed expression. Sometime later, Zidong raised his hands and announced with excitement, the Profound Blossom Sect has managed to achieve 9 victories in a row against the Yellow River Sect, securing their spot in tomorrow's matches. Congratulations! Good work, you girls. Liu Lanjai said to them with a huge smile on her face. Never in 100 years did she expect the Profound Blossom Sect to win against the Yellow River Sect, much less last this long in the tournament. Not to mention the current state of their sect. In fact, this is the first time in their sect's history that they have lasted for more than 1 day in the tournament. I didn't get a chance to enter the stage in the end. Sun Jingjing sighed at the fact that she wasn't able to fight today. With that being said, that just means my fellow sisters are that competent, she said a moment later. Meanwhile, most of the Yellow River Sect disciples appeared to be in despair after their loss, as it had never crossed their minds that they could possibly lose to an inferior sect such as the Profound Blossom Sect. Not just this Jinzai, but I don't recognize every disciple that came afterward. There's no way that I would not know of their names if they are this powerful. Did they join the Profound Blossom Sect after everyone left? It was the only explanation that made sense in Li Xiaomo's mind. That must be it. How else do you explain such a situation? Even the core disciples that were there before they all left weren't as strong as them. After the match ended, both the Yellow River Sect and the Profound Blossom Sect gathered in the center, and the sect masters bowed to each other to show respect to each other regardless of the results. However, before they went their own ways, Su Yang said to Li Xiaomo, I can tell that you are puzzled, so allow me to help you understand it. All of the disciples that went on the stage today used to be ordinary outer court disciples before they disperse, so it's not odd that you don't recognize any of them. What? Li Xiaomo stared at them with a dumbfounded expression after hearing Su Yang's words. However, Su Yang continued to speak, and I personally trained them. Li Xiaomo's beautiful face instantly filled itself with shock and disbelief. I see. She mumbled a few moments later with a bitter smile on her face. To tell you the truth, when I couldn't find you at that time, I had figured that you had already left the Profound Blossom Sect, so I also decided to leave. But alas, to think you actually remained. I should have waited a little bit longer before deciding. Because Su Yang was absent from the place where all of the disciples were supposed to be gathered, Li Zio Mo had assumed that Su Yang had already left the Profound Blossom Sect, hence why she left them. However, although it was only for a brief moment, Su Yang was indeed at the center court with the other disciples. Unfortunately for Li Zio Mo, he was not near her, and he left before she could even see him. If I had remained at the Profound Blossom Sect, maybe I would be standing by his side right now with a blissful smile, but alas, Li Zio Mo wondered as she shook her head before leaving with the Yellow River Sect. Don't you just feel bad for her when you look at the painful expression on her face? Sun Jingjing mumbled. No matter her reason, it remains a fact that she'd abandoned the Profound Blossom Sect and its disciples. Fang Zhelan said with a nonchalant expression. Once the Yellow River Sect began walking away, the Profound Blossom Sect also turned around. However, before they could walk off the stage, a graceful figure in lavish clothing suddenly stood up from her seat and approached them. Once the Profound Blossom Sect realized who stood before them, all of them immediately bowed to her and spoke in a respectful tone, "Your Highness." When the spectators saw this, their eyes widened with shock. Why would Zai Xingfang suddenly approach them? This is the first time she's left her seat in the middle of the tournament. All of the disciples, especially Liu Lanjai, anxiously waited for Zai Xingfang to speak, as they were all wondering why she would approach them. Congratulations on winning the match. Zai Xingfang's gentle voice resounded a few moments later. Liu Lanjai did not know how to react and silently stared at Zai Xingfang with a dumbfounded gaze. The princess took all that effort to approach them just to congratulate them. And why did she choose to congratulate them but ignore everybody else? Thank you, but we are not worthy of your praises just yet. While Liu Lanjai was in her trance, Su Yang said to her with a smile on his face, "Come back and repeat those words once we take the first place." When the people heard Su Yang's words, they all gasped in shock. Her Highness personally praised them, and he has the audacity to tell her to come back later. This arrogant bastard thinks they will win the regional tournament. Ha ha ha. His face has been irritating me ever since I saw him. Somebody needs to rough it up a bit. The spectators began cursing at Su Yang loudly, but he acted as though he couldn't hear them and continued smiling at Zai Xingfang. Chapter 383, end of the second day. After a moment of silence, Zai Xingfang silently nodded her head at Su Yang and proceeded to return to her seat. Meanwhile, the Profound Blossom Sect and the spectators all looked at her with a dumbfounded look, with all of them wondering what that was all about. You couldn't wait a few more days before speaking with him. Lord Zai felt an urge to sigh when he looked at her. It's been many days since I last spoke with him, and I don't want him to forget my existence, especially when he's surrounded by beauties in all directions, so I couldn't help myself. Lord Zai immediately became speechless at her unbefitting behavior for someone of her stature. After all, it should be Su Yang approaching her, not the other way around. It'll only make her seem desperate. A princess and beauty like Zai Xingfang acting this desperate when she can literally have any man on this land. It was simply too unbelievable, almost like a fairy tale. What the hell was that? Bai Lihua pointed at the stage with trembling fingers. Why would the princess approach them, even congratulating them? Hearing her shocked voice, Wang Xuren shrugged her shoulders and said, "Maybe she's greatly impressed by the Profound Blossom Sect." So she's impressed by them but completely ignored the Burning Lotus Sect, who is clearly more impressive in many ways more than them. Don't you feel a little bit unhappy about that? Although it would be great if the princess of the Zai family gave us even a little bit of recognition, at the end of the day, it's Lord Zai that we must impress. That makes sense, Bai Lihua nodded. The most important person in this place is Lord Zai. As long as they manage to impress him during this tournament, they will receive many benefits and will also be recognized by the entire world as a bonus. A few minutes later, the Profound Blossom Sect returned to their seats as spectators. "I must admit you are quite a formidable bunch," Bai Lihua said to them. She then turned to look at Liu Lanjai and continued to speak. "These girls are lucky to have such a competent sect leader. You should be proud." He. All of the disciples showed a bashful smile, especially Liu Lanjai, who was trying her hardest to not smile from ear to ear. However, once she recalled that it was Su Yang who did all the work, she showed an embarrassed smile and said, "I didn't do anything. It's all because of Su Yang that we are here today." Bai Lihua thought Liu Lanjai was only being humble and casually nodded, "If you say so." A few hours later, the second day of the tournament came to an end, and the remaining 50 sects gathered once again to draw a lot for their next match. "Who has number 9? Zai Dong asked after everyone had picked a number. A few seconds later, Liu Lanjai raised her hand, and a few meters away from her, a middle-aged man also raised his hand. When Liu Lanjai saw the face of that middle-aged man, her eyes widened with shock. "The Profound Blossom Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect, huh?" Zai Dong nodded as he wrote their sect onto the board. "The Profound Blossom Sect is doomed. Although they were lucky enough to have gotten this far, they will now have to face the Burning Lotus Sect. The sect masters there believed that tomorrow would be the last match for the Profound Blossom Sect. To think we'd pick the Burning Lotus Sect out of all the participants." Liu Lanjai sighed. If she knew this would have happened, she should have allowed Su Yang to pick the number. "Why does it matter if we face them now or later? If they don't lose, we will have to fight them sooner or later," Su Yang casually said. "That's true, but I had hoped that we would face them later if not for the last match," Liu Lanjai sighed again. While Liu Lanjai and Su Yang spoke, the Burning Lotus Sect's master approached them with a serious expression on his face. "Senior Xianxia." Liu Lanjai respectfully bowed to him. Xianxia nodded at her before turning to look at Su Yang with a frown on his face. "Don't think I have forgotten what had happened on that day for even 1 second, as it has been on my mind every day since then. The humiliation that we all had to face, we shall pay that back tenfolds." When Liu Lanjai heard Xianxia's words, her eyes widened with shock. What is he talking about, Su Yang? Did you do something to offend them?" She mumbled to him. Su Yang raised an eyebrow and spoke in a puzzled tone. "While I am prideful of many things about myself, my memory is not one of them, so if you don't mind, can you help me recall what had happened?" Xianxia's eyebrows twitched after hearing Su Yang's words, feeling a strong urge to beat him up right this moment. "I don't know what kind of tricks you had used on that day, but it will not work here. What's more, we are no longer the same as before. If you think you will step all over us like that time, it will not happen tomorrow." "Excuse me, Senior Hugh. If you don't mind, can you give me an explanation? It seems like Su Yang had offended you," Liu Lanjai asked him. Xianxia looked at her and spoke. "Don't worry, it's only a small matter and this is between him and us. Even if he's affiliated with the Profound Blossom Sect, we will not cause you guys any trouble, especially since we are in an alliance." Liu Lanjai was speechless for a moment before saying, "Even if you say that, he's also a sect master like me. If you cause trouble for him, it'll also mean trouble for the sect." Xianxia merely smiled at her words before turning around and walking away. "Really, Su Yang, what did you do to them? And when did this happen?" She looked at him with a frown. "Whatever you did, if you don't resolve this quickly, it will definitely affect our alliance." Like he'd said, you don't have to worry. "It's just a small matter that will be resolved very soon," he said with a smile. Chapter 384 First, you strip after writing the Profound Blossom Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect's name beside each other on a large board. Zai Dong continued to call out numbers. Sometime later, Zai Dong said loudly, "Number 18. Once she heard her number being called, Bai Lihua raised her hand, and a few meters away from her, another individual raised his hand. When the sect masters saw these two individuals, their eyes flickered with entertainment. The Heavenly Swan Sect and the Azure Cloud Sect. Zidong proceeded to write their names on the board. Bai Lihua silently looked at Gu Guanting with a serious expression on her beautiful face, and Gu Guanting stared back at her with a similar expression. What do you think about this matchup? The sect masters there immediately began mumbling to each other. Although the Azure Cloud Sect has achieved a surprising victory against the Million Snake Sect, I don't think they will be able to handle the Heavenly Swan Sect. One sect master spoke his thoughts. I have a feeling that Hong Yuer from the Azure Cloud Sect has yet to fully display her full prowess. Who knows, maybe she will single-handedly defeat the Heavenly Swan Sect too. Another sect master there gave his judgment. What do you think, Su Yang? You were confident that the Million Snake Sect would lose to the Azure Cloud Sect before it even began. Will the Heavenly Swan Sect be able to defeat the Azure Cloud Sect, or more specifically, defeat Hong Yuer? Liu Lanjai asked him. Su Yang quickly shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. What do you think? Liu Lanjai narrowed her eyes at him, who clearly knows something. After a moment of silence, she spoke. I think Hong Yuer is still hiding something in her sleeves. What's more, she managed to defeat the Million Snake Sect with ease. Although I cannot guess which one of them will win in the end, it's definitely going to be a difficult match for the Heavenly Swan Sect. Sometime later, once everybody there had their sect's name on the board, all of the sect masters returned to their disciples to relay the news. What luck, huh? Bai Lihua approached Liu Lanjai and Su Yang afterward and spoke. You guys got matched with the Burning Lotus Sect, the strongest contender this tournament. Meanwhile, we have to deal with the Azure Cloud Sect, one of the biggest dark horses in history. Are you worried that you will lose? Su Yang asked her with a smile. Bai Lihua frowned and shouted, Nonsense. I have complete confidence in my disciple's ability. Even if Hong Yuer is powerful, she will not be able to deal with us like they did to the Million Snake Sect, as we will be fully prepared. Good luck, said Su Yang before they separated. Once they returned to the hotel, Liu Lanjai revealed to the disciples their next opponents, which greatly dumbfounded them. We are fighting the Burning Lotus Sect already. Sun Jingjing's jaw dropped from shock. From fighting the Yellow River Sect to the Burning Lotus Sect. That's quite the jump in difficulty, said Fang Zhelan. I understand that it's going to be difficult, but if we want to win the tournament, we will have to fight them regardless, not to mention the other elite sects. Liu Lanjai said. Are you girls worried about the Burning Lotus Sect? Su Yang suddenly asked them. Well, they have a dozen disciples at the Earth Spirit Realm whilst we only have 2. Sun Jingjing said. Su Yang shook his head with a smile and said, although the difference between true spirit realm and earth spirit realm may seem like heaven and earth, it is actually much more insignificant than you believe. As long as you prepare yourself properly before the battle, their small advantage won't even be noticeable. How do we prepare for something like that? One of the disciples asked. It's actually quite simple. In fact, it's already a daily routine for all of you. The disciples raised their eyebrows, seemingly puzzled by his words that made it seem as though they were already experienced with it. I want all of you to gather in a single room tonight. I will teach you all a new technique for tomorrow's matches. Really? The disciples' eyes lit up with excitement after hearing his words, wondering what kind of technique he'll teach them. You want to teach them to learn a new technique within a single night. I don't mean to doubt your lecture or their capabilities, but learning a technique even if it's the lowest grade is simply ridiculous and impossible even for geniuses. Liu Lanjai looked at him with a weird look. If cultivation techniques were that easy and quick to learn, every cultivator in the world would be experts with hundreds of techniques inside their sleeves by now. Hearing Liu Lanjai's words, Su Yang responded with a smile. Although it's called a technique, it's somewhat different. In fact, it's something any cultivator can learn within a few hours if they are willing, but because of the nature of this technique, it's only practical for dual cultivators. Something like that exists. Why don't you teach it to me too? Liu Lanjai quickly became intrigued. Naturally, I will also teach you the technique. However, I will have to do it on another day as these disciples require it more than you. Liu Lanjai nodded. That's understandable. A few hours later, Su Yang entered one of the hotel rooms and inside stood 10 beautiful girls. When Su Yang entered the room, 10 pairs of flickering eyes turned to look at him, seemingly excited to see him. Are you girls ready? Su Yang asked them with a calm smile. They all nodded. Good, then let's get started. What should we do? Sun Jingjing asked him. First, you strip, he responded with a straight face. The girls looked at him with wide eyes. We are going to cultivate, he continued. The girls then looked at each other and chuckled, almost like they'd already predicted this outcome. Chapter 385, third day of the tournament. Oh. Tilda. Jinzai moaned loudly as 2 large hands tightly grasped her hips while her lower body was being violated by a long and hard shaft that thrust endlessly in her narrow cave. Meanwhile, 9 girls watched from the sidelines, their faces filled with anticipation and excitement. A few moments later, Su Yang released his grasp on Jinzai and allowed her exhausted body to collapse onto the soft bed. However, before Jinzai could relax, Su Yang quickly tapped on her forehead with his finger, causing information to be sent directly into her head. Do not cultivate the Yang Qi in your body yet, and follow the technique I just gave you, Su Yang said to her before turning to look at another girl. A few seconds later, another girl enters his embrace, before feeling his hard rod entering her body. Su Yang continued to cultivate with the disciples for nearly the entire night, whilst lecturing them about the technique. He parted with them. As expected of Su Yang, every time he introduces something new to us, it's something that's either highly valuable or completely shocking. Sun Jingjing mumbled on the bed with an exhausted voice after Su Yang left them alone to rest. With this new technique, I feel like I can fight against the entire world by myself. Fang Zhelin gently touched her stomach, which was filled with hot Yang Qi. If this technique is released to the public, I have a feeling that more cultivators would be willing to try dual cultivation, said another disciple. This technique works best for females, right? I wonder where Su Yang learned this technique. I have a feeling that we won't ever know. That's not bad. I love a mysterious man, especially one with such bed techniques. By the way, since we can't cultivate the Yang Qi in our body, I wonder if we'll become pregnant afterward. One of the disciples suddenly asked. The room instantly turned silent. A few moments later, Fang Zhelin spoke. Calm down, you won't get pregnant so quickly. It normally takes a week if you don't absorb the Yang Qi, but the Yang Qi in our body will be exhausted by tomorrow. If it were me, I wouldn't mind being pregnant with his child, Sun Jingjing suddenly said, causing everybody there to look at her with wide eyes. Oh right, I haven't mentioned this to you girls yet, but I have decided that I want to continue my lineage with him, she said as she passionately rubbed her stomach. Did you already speak with him? One of the disciples asked her. Of course not. Sun Jingjing shook her head and she continued, but I plan to after the tournament ends. You think he'll accept? Another one asked her. I will find out once I ask him, Sun Jingjing said. Even if we cannot be together, I will be satisfied with just having his child. The disciples looked at each other. Good luck, Sister Jingjing. Although other men would likely not agree, Su Yang is not your average man. What's more, unlike the rest of us, you have only embraced one man him in your life, right? I think he wouldn't mind you having his child, Fang Zhelin said to her with a smile. Although it is unlikely that a man would accept having a woman that is a disciple at the Profound Blossom Sect to bear his child, as they tend to have multiple partners in their life, Sun Jingjing was an exception in the sect, since she managed to become an inner court disciple without any partner because of her grandfather, Elder Sun. The disciples remained in the room for the remainder of the night, talking about Su Yang like a group of friends during a sleepover. The next morning, all of the disciples gathered in the front of the hotel and prepared to leave for the tournament. "How are you girls feeling?" Liu Lanjai asked them. "Better than I have ever felt, sect master." "That's good to hear. I hope this confidence remains even when we are standing on the stage." A few moments later, the Profound Blossom Sect made their way to the Colosseum. On their way to the Colosseum, they encountered Wang Xuren, who was, of course, with the Burning Lotus Sect. The Burning Lotus Sect also noticed them, and Wang Xuren approached them with a smile on her face. "I had hoped that we could have lasted at least until the last day of the tournament, but alas," Wang Xuren whispered to Su Yang. "Who knows, you might win. Save your words. We both know the results." Meanwhile, the disciples from the Burning Lotus Sect stared at Su Yang with narrowed eyes that were filled with fierceness and anger. All of them still remembered the day Su Yang fought their entire sect alone. In fact, half of the disciples there had tasted Su Yang's fist, and their body trembled instantly after seeing his face. It was almost like their body instinctively feared him. Calm down, his power was only borrowed from a treasure. That was not his real prowess, it was all fake, don't be scared. Don't be fooled, he's actually weak. He's actually very weak. Xianxia's eyebrows uncontrollably twitched when he heard his disciples mumbling to themselves, trying to convince themselves to not be afraid of Su Yang. It was clear that they were traumatized by the events on that day. "Let's go," Xianxia said to them loudly, and the disciples happily followed him away from Su Yang. "What's wrong with them? They seem shaken about something." One of the disciples noticed their odd behavior. I also noticed it. They seemed very nervous, almost like they were in the presence of a powerful beast. "They must be scared of our senior apprentice sisters and senior apprentice brother after witnessing their prowess yesterday," one of the junior disciples said with a proud face. "Enough chatting, let's also head to the Colosseum," Liu Lanjai said to them before walking away. Chapter 386 Burning Lotus Sect vs. Profound Blossom Sect. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snowfall Colosseum, where the regional tournament will take place for the third day. After 3 long days, only a little over 50 sects remain in the tournament. Zai Dong appeared on the stage and spoke loudly. "With that being said, without further ado, allow me to introduce our first match for the day, the Lightning Strike Palace and their opponent, Unrestrained Fiery Sect." 2 sects consisting of 20 participants on each side entered the stage a few moments later, with each and every single one of these participants emitting a profound aura of the true spirit realm. There will only be highly regarded sects and renowned names entering the stage from this point forth. Bai Lihua calmly mumbled. She then turned to look at the Profound Blossom Sect and sighed inwardly. Except for one sect. No matter how much she tried to ponder, she couldn't understand how the Profound Blossom Sect was able to achieve what they currently have, especially considering their standing as a low-grade sect. Unless an otherworldly being with profound knowledge or experience is helping the Profound Blossom Sect, it's almost impossible for a sect of their size to reach this point even with divine fortune. A faceless figure with a divine feeling surrounding him appeared in Bai Lihua's mind, as she thought of the possibility that a powerful expert may be helping the Profound Blossom Sect from the shadows, unbeknown to the world. Bai Lihua suddenly looked at the Burning Lotus Sect. Could this expert and the mysterious alchemist that has recently shocked the world with the Earth Advancement pills be the same person? The Burning Lotus Sect was only an above-average sect before they befriended this mysterious alchemist, too. But why would this expert choose to help them? Is there something special about the Profound Blossom Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect that I cannot see? Time passed swiftly as Bai Lihua silently pondered to herself about this mysterious expert, and in what felt like a blink of her eyes, it was already time for the 9th match of the day. Good luck, elder brother. Good luck, senior sisters. Su Yin's cheering suddenly snapped Bai Lihua out of her deep thoughts. It's already their turn on the stage. Bai Lihua stopped her thoughts and focused her attention on the stage, where the Burning Lotus Sect and the Profound Blossom Sect were standing only a few meters away from each other. Do the sect leaders have any words for each other before the fight officially begins? Zai Dong asked them. Liu Lanjai shook her head and turned to look at Su Yang, who was returning Hu Yuanjia's stares with a calm expression on his face. Let me see how much you guys have grown since that day, Su Yang suddenly said to them with a smile on his face. When the Burning Lotus Sect disciples heard his words, unwanted memories they tried to forget appeared in their heads, causing their bodies to uncontrollably tremble. Hu Yuanjia frowned and spoke with a grim expression on his face. There is only one thing I want to say, hurry up and get this match started. Zai Dong nodded and said, once both sects return to the edge of the stage and send out their first participant, I will start the match. Hearing his words, the Burning Lotus Sect immediately retreated to the edge, and the Profound Blossom Sect went to the opposite side of the stage, leaving the middle of the arena empty. The Profound Blossom Sect has been extremely lucky to have lasted this long. However, unfortunately for them, it seems like their luck has just run out. Today will be their last day on the stage. The Profound Blossom Sect is only a low-grade sect, right? Even if it's by sheer luck, this is an unprecedented event, as there has never been a low-grade sect that has managed to last longer than 2 days in the regional tournament. While the spectators chatted with each other, the Burning Lotus Sect sent out their first disciple onto the stage. First-level Earth Spirit Realm, huh? Even though they have been sending out disciples at the true Spirit Realm first in their previous matches, Liu Lanjai sighed. It appears that the Burning Lotus Sect is seriously trying to beat us. Who wants to go first? She turned to look at the disciples. Me. Oh, I want to fight first. Wait, let me do it. Unexpectedly, all of the disciples raised their hands. Surprised by their enthusiasm, Liu Lanjai became speechless. After a moment of silence, she spoke. I am thinking of a number from 1 to 100. Whoever guesses the number correctly or comes the closest will get to fight first. You only have one try. 1, 9, 20, 32, 80, 55. The disciples immediately began guessing their number. A few seconds later, Liu Lanjai nodded and pointed to one of the disciples and said, Congratulations, Lin Na, your number was the closest. The slim and petite beauty Liu Lanjai pointed to expressed a bright expression and nodded. I won't let the sect down, she said to them before running onto the stage with excitement. The Profound Blossom Sect has sent out disciple Lin Na, who is at the 5th level of the Earth Spirit Realm. Zai Dong quickly introduced her. Aya, to send out the disciple with one of the lowest cultivation bases amongst their group against someone at the Earth Spirit Realm. This entire match will be brutal and one-sided without a doubt. The spectators shook their heads at the clear disparity in cultivation between the two sides, even feeling bad for the little girl who was only 17 years old. Let the match begin, Zai Dong announced a few moments later. Hey, little girl. The Burning Lotus Sect disciple suddenly called out to her. I have no grievances with you, nor am I looking down on you, but I'd appreciate it if you quickly surrender and send out that bastard Su Yang so that I can give him a slow beating. Lin Na looked at the Burning Lotus Sect disciple with an unamused expression. I don't care about your grievances, but if you want to fight my senior brother, you'll have to kick me off the stage first. Although I take no joy in bullying the weak, you have forced my hands. The Burning Lotus Sect disciple coldly snorted at her words, before rushing towards Lin Na with a fierce expression. Chapter 387. A different person. Ha! Taste my extended Burning Lotus palm strike. The Burning Lotus Sect disciple rushed at Lin Na with a pair of fiery hands that were engulfed in a ball of flames, before shooting his palms at her chest. Profound Blossom Art, Petal Fury. Lin Na unsheathes the sword by her sword and slices it at the Burning Lotus Sect disciple. When the spectators saw this, their eyes widened with surprise. She dares to directly exchange blows with someone that's an entire realm above herself. That's either madness or arrogance. Normally, when one's cultivation is far below their opponent, they would never think of trying to fight them directly, as that is akin to suicide, but Lin Na charged at him with a confidence all over her face. Boom! The instant the Burning Lotus Sect disciple's fist clashed with Lin Na's sword, a fiery explosion occurred between them, before sending one of them flying towards the edge of the stage. Impossible! Not just the spectators but even Xianxia cried out loud after witnessing the Burning Lotus Sect disciple lose the exchange when they all expected Lin Na to be the one sent flying. How is it possible for someone at the true spirit realm to win a frontal exchange against someone at the earth spirit realm? That doesn't make sense. While it's not impossible, only the most talented cultivators are able to achieve such a feat. What's more, they would at most be 1 or 2 levels below the earth spirit realm. Lin Na, however, was only at the 5th level of the true spirit realm. She was 5 levels below the Burning Lotus Sect disciple, who is at the 1st level of the earth spirit realm. Since when did the Profound Blossom Sect have such impressive talents? Even Lord Zai was surprised, as he was certain that even he wouldn't be able to do what Lin Na just did when he was at her age and cultivation base. Su Yang probably had something to do with it, Zai Xingfeng said. Lord Zai looked at her with a weird expression and said, "You know that not everything in this world revolves around him, right? Who knows, he certainly has the aura." Lord Zai merely shook his head with a speechless expression. Profound Blossom Art, Falling Petals. After blowing the Burning Lotus Sect disciple away, Lin Na immediately chased after him, wasting no time. Aha! The Burning Lotus Sect disciple, who was barely able to stand still after being blown away, was unable to fully defend himself against Lin Na's swift strike, and took half of the blade with his chest. Fortunately for him, there was a protective barrier around the arena that prevented the sword from cutting his body into 2 pieces and turning him into a bloody mess. However, even though his body was still intact, the Burning Lotus Sect disciple still had to experience the blunt force of the attack that shook his organs violently and crushed a few bones, causing him to cough up a mouthful of blood. "I am not finished with you just yet." Lin Na did not allow the disciple to rest, and continued to display the Profound Blossom Art on him. After a few minutes of struggling, the Burning Lotus Sect disciple eventually surrendered the round, as he could no longer move because of the pain in his body. HMPH. To think you wanted to fight my senior apprentice brother when you are at such a level, how arrogant of you. You wouldn't even last a second against him. The Burning Lotus Sect disciple gnashed his teeth in anger, but he did not say anything and slowly exited the stage to get his injuries treated. "I'm sorry, Sect Master. I had greatly underestimated her." The disciple lowered his head at Xianxia, who quickly shook his head. "Don't blame yourself. Even I had underestimated her. In fact, besides Su Yang, I cannot help but underestimate them." After a moment of silence, Xianxia said to his disciples with a serious expression, "As long as you are on the stage, I want you to treat your opponent, no matter who they are, as though they are Su Yang and fight them with everything that you've got. Let our first match be our one and only defeat today." "Yes, Sect Master," the disciples responded with a clear voice. Meanwhile, on the other side of the stage, Lin Na also left the stage as she'd exhausted her energy just now and would not be able to fight another round. "I don't care how you did it, but color me impressed. At this rate, getting first place in this tournament will no longer be just a dream." Liu Lanjai praised her. Lin Na blushed and spoke while touching her stomach. This is all thanks to senior apprentice brother. Liu Lanjai became even more intrigued at the technique that Su Yang had taught them yesterday after seeing the results. "You must teach me this technique tonight, or I won't let you sleep until you do so," she whispered in his ears. Su Yang did not say anything and merely smiled at her. Sometime later, Zai Dong requested for the second match to begin. "Please send forth your next fighter." A few moments later, another disciple at the first level of the Earth Spirit Realm from the Burning Lotus sect approached the center of the stage. Another minute later, after another round of guessing the number, the Profound Blossom Sect also sends their next fighter to the stage. A tall and slim figure then walks onto the stage. The Profound Blossom Sect has decided to send out their next fighter, Sun Jingjing, who is also at the first level of the Earth Spirit Realm. The moment Sun Jingjing appeared on the stage, her beauty attracted nearly every pair of eyes in that place. Although every disciple from the Profound Blossom Sect was a top beauty, there was something unique about Sun Jingjing's appearance and aura that made her seem more refined than the rest. Sun Jingjing. If I recall correctly, the Sun family's little princess from the western region also shares the same name. A few of the spectators recognized her name. However, some people rejected that claim. "Are you crazy? Why would that princess be a disciple at the Profound Blossom Sect? They are definitely two different people." But the Profound Blossom Sect is also located in the western region, where the Sun family mostly operates. I'm telling you, there's absolutely zero chance that the Sun family would allow their princess to become a slut in that kind of place. What's more, the last time I heard, she was still at the Profound Spirit Realm. The Sun family is known for their wealth and their connection with merchants around the world, not their talent in cultivation, so there's no way this girl who's at the Earth Spirit Realm is the same princess from the Sun family. I guess you are right. Meanwhile, on the stage, Sun Jingjing was slightly shaking from excitement. "I wonder if my family is watching me right now," she wondered inwardly as she slowly approached the center of the stage. "Although they have always strongly rejected my choice to follow grandfather, it's exactly because of that decision that I am standing here right now." A few moments later, once Sun Jingjing was in the center of the stage, Zai Dong raised his hand and shouted, "Second round begin." Chapter 388: How a Real Dual Cultivator Fights Somewhere Within the Crowd of Spectators. A beautiful middle-aged woman that somewhat resembled Sun Jingjing stared at the stage with a serious expression. As much as I hate to admit it, it seems like her decision to go to the Profound Blossom Sect was the correct one. The middle-aged man sitting beside her suddenly spoke, his eyes on Sun Jingjing with a gentle gaze. "What? You don't think so even after seeing her on the stage?" he continued after a moment of silence. "No, it's just that the Profound Blossom Sect has secured their third consecutive victory, and disciple Sun Jingjing will be staying for the fourth round." Zai Dong suddenly announced. "That's my girl," the middle-aged man shouted in excitement. The beautiful woman beside him shook her head and spoke. "As I was saying, even though she's made some achievement for herself, who would be willing to accept a woman from the Profound Blossom Sect? You know how most men think. They only care about maidens who are pure. As for a girl that is no longer pure, especially when they are from the Profound Blossom Sect, I'm afraid that it'll be much harder for her to find a partner." The middle-aged man chuckled and said, "I think you are underestimating us. As long as they have a pretty face and a good body, we will do anything. Sun Jingjing is not only a peerless beauty but also a powerful cultivator now. I doubt she'll have any of the problems in your mind. In fact, given her personality, I'm more worried that she won't be able to find a quality man out there that suits her taste." The middle-aged woman remained silent and continued to focus on the stage. "Ha! Profound blossom art, falling petals." Many sword lights appeared above Sun Jingjing before raining towards the young man in front of her. "Burning cauldron." The Burning Lotus sect disciple created a large cauldron before him to block the sword lights, but alas, it was quickly torn apart, almost as though it was made from paper. Ah! The sword lights that pierced the cauldron continued to bore down on the disciple, making him feel as though his body was being pierced by a dozen swords. If not for the protective barrier, that would have definitely been the results. I surrender. The Burning Lotus sect disciple forfeited the match after many minutes of struggling against Sun Jingjing. This doesn't make any sense, Xianxia mumbled with a frown on his face. The Profound Blossom Sect is not known for their prowess or techniques, so how are they able to overpower our disciples with such ease? What's more, the Profound Blossom art is only a mortal-grade technique. It shouldn't be able to resist our earth-grade techniques, much less overwhelm them. It was not just Xianxia. Everybody that was at the Colosseum was dumbfounded by the results, as nobody there had expected the Profound Blossom Sect to win even a single match against the Burning Lotus Sect, much less winning 4 consecutively. Heavens, it seems like we all have profoundly underestimated the Profound Blossom Sect. It's not that we've underestimated them. The Profound Blossom Sect this year is almost like an entirely different sect when compared to their previous accomplishments. Indeed. The Profound Blossom Sect has always ranked last or bottom. This is the first time that they've shown such brilliance. I wonder what's changed. Perhaps what happened with the Million Snakes sect has something to do with it. The spectators began looking at the Profound Blossom Sect in a new light. However, there were still people who refused to praise the Profound Blossom Sect. The Burning Lotus Sect must be going easy on them. They are in an alliance after all. I bet you that they are only allowing the Profound Blossom Sect to win so that they can save them some face. In fact, the Burning Lotus Sect has yet to send out their geniuses. Meanwhile, on the stage, Zai Dong asked Sun Jingjing, "Are you able to continue? Or do you wish to send out another fighter?" Sun Jingjing pondered for a moment before speaking. "I had enough fun today. I'll let my fellow sisters take care of the rest." Although she still had plenty of strength left in her body, Sun Jingjing did not want to hog all of the spotlight for herself and decided to stop there. "That was amazing, Sister Jingjing. You blew away 3 of them with ease." The disciples immediately praised her. It was nothing." Sun Jingjing blushed. "Anyway, this new technique is amazing. Even though I just fought 3 people at the Earth Spirit Realm, the profound qi in my body barely depleted." Sun Jingjing looked at Su Yang with an admiring gaze. However, Su Yang shook his head and said, "The technique itself is nothing special. It's what's fueling your body with strength that really matters." Hearing his words, Sun Jingjing unconsciously rubbed her stomach, where the main source of their strength came from. "Honestly, it's so powerful that it feels like cheating." Sun Jingjing showed a bitter smile. Because their overwhelming strength is borrowed from the yang qi that is currently residing within their body, they are technically cheating by receiving help from an external source. There's no need to feel guilty, as this is how true dual cultivators fight. Su Yang shook his head. "If you think dual cultivation is all about the connection and pleasure and nothing else, you cannot be considered as a real dual cultivator. In fact, what you've all been doing until today is only the beginning of what dual cultivation has to offer. Normal cultivators have their own methods to fight, and we have our own ways. This technique is merely one of many techniques that defines what dual cultivation truly is. Remember, it is called dual cultivation for a reason. Even if it may seem like it, you are never truly alone, as that is simply normal cultivation. Even if it may seem like it, we are never truly alone." Not just the disciples, but even Liu Lanjai silently repeated his words, almost as though they were trying to engrave it into their hearts. Chapter 389 Limptic Bastard, Profound Blossom Sect. "Are you ready to send out your next fighter yet?" Zai Dong asked them after waiting for some time. A few moments later, the Profound Blossom Sect sends out another disciple. However, unlike the previous rounds, the Profound Blossom Sect disciple did not have an easy time fighting the Burning Lotus Sect disciple, and after many minutes of fighting back and forth, the Burning Lotus Sect secures their first victory against the Profound Blossom Sect. "I'm sorry, sect masters and fellow apprentice sisters. I have disappointed you all." The Profound Blossom Sect disciple returned to them with a dejected feeling around her. "Don't worry about it, junior sister. It's just one defeat. We are still ahead of them." Liu Lanjai nodded and spoke. "Your fellow sisters are right. You've tried your best, so there's no need to apologize. Furthermore, the Burning Lotus Sect is a tough opponent. I don't expect any easy victories against them." A few minutes later, the Profound Blossom Sect sends out another disciple. After clashing for a few minutes, the Burning Lotus Sect redeems another narrow victory. "Good job, senior apprentice brother." The Burning Lotus Sect disciples cheered from the sides. However, Xianxia was not celebrating. In fact, he stood there with a frown on his face. "What's on your mind, master?" a beautiful young lady suddenly asked him. Xianxia turned to look at his personal disciple, Lin Xiaoshang. "Even though we are winning, we are only barely winning. I cannot help but feel like the Profound Blossom Sect still has another surprise hidden under their sleeves. No matter what they have planned, I will not allow our Burning Lotus Sect to lose to him again," Lin Xiaoshang said with a fierce expression on her face. Although she did not personally exchange fists with Su Yang previously, she has witnessed the chaos he'd caused to their sect, especially the damage he'd caused to their disciples. After his little show that burdened many minds, our disciples were unable to cultivate with a peaceful mind for an entire month. Some of my friends are still having nightmares to this day about him. I will definitely not let him do as he pleases, even if it's the last thing I'll do." Xianxia smiled bitterly and said, "You are over-exaggerating. By the way, have you seen Wang Shuren? I left Great Elder Han behind to guard our belongings, but I can't seem to recall her whereabouts." He suddenly asked her. If I recall correctly, Elder Wang wanted to watch the match from the spectator's seat. She probably didn't want to be a part of this tournament, especially since we are fighting the Profound Blossom Sect. Xianxia sighed. "Master, why does Elder Wang hold the Profound Blossom Sect to such high regards, even forcing the rest of the sect to form an alliance with them?" Lin Xiaoshang asked him. "It gets harder and harder to understand what's on her mind as the days pass. However, I'm sure that she has her reasons for trusting the Profound Blossom Sect, and I'm willing to trust that trust. If not for her, the Burning Lotus Sect would not be in our current position." "I see." Lin Xiaoshang turned silent afterward. The fight between the Burning Lotus Sect and the Profound Blossom Sect continues. Many minutes later, after going back and forth with the victories and defeats, the Profound Blossom Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect are currently tied with 9 victories and 9 defeats each. "Su Yang, get your ass out here and accept my challenge," Lin Xiaoshang shouted with a fierce voice as she stood on the stage with a heroic aura around her. The Profound Blossom Sect disciples turned to look at Su Yang, who was casually standing there with a nonchalant expression on his face. They were all wondering what he did to have offended the #1 genius of the Burning Lotus Sect, Lin Xiaoshang. "This is the first time I've seen Fairy Lin acting so angry. This Su Yang must have done something that had greatly offended her." Even the spectators that were familiar with Lin Xiaoshang's personality were dumbfounded by the current expression on her face. "Why aren't you coming onto the stage? Are you scared? What happened to the courage and arrogance that you'd shown to us on that day?" Lin Xiaoshang continued to shout loudly. "This is quite amusing." Lord Zai showed a smile at this situation. "What's so amusing about this?" Zai Xingfeng frowned. "Everything." Because he'd investigated Su Yang's background, it was only natural that Lord Zai knew of the drama between the Burning Lotus Sect and Su Yang. Even if the Burning Lotus sect had tried their best to keep the event a secret, it is almost impossible to avoid the Zai family's vast information-gathering network that spreads across the entire continent. Sometime later, when Lin Xiaosheng got tired of waiting for Su Yang to respond, she cursed at him loudly. "Hurry up and get on the stage, you limptic bastard." When the spectators heard this, most of them burst out laughing. To be called a limptic bastard by Fairy Lin. I would immediately leave this place and never show my face to the world again if I were him. Fairy Lin is right. What are you afraid of? Hurry up and accept her challenge like a real man. Su Yang, Liu Lanjai looked at him with a weird expression on her face. She couldn't understand why he's remained silent this entire time. Limptic, limptic, limptic. The spectators even began to chant the word loudly. Silence. Suddenly, a powerful voice resounded in the arena, causing the place to tremble. When the spectators heard this voice and felt the profound strength behind it, their mouths instantly became shut. However, this voice did not belong to Su Yang. Instead, it belonged to a female. Lord Zai turned to look at Zai Xingfeng with disbelief, seemingly speechless. A few moments of silence later, Su Yang suddenly took a step forward. "You sounded quite confident when you called me a limptic, almost as though you are certain of it. I don't mind accepting your challenge, but I won't be playing to your tunes without anything in return." Su Yang stopped walking right before the fighting ring and stared at Lin Xiaosheng with a serious expression on his face. "What do you want?" Lin Xiaosheng asked him. "It's simple. If you win, I will give you everything in this storage pouch." Su Yang retrieved a small pouch and immediately poured all of its contents onto the floor. When Lin Xiaosheng saw the hundreds of pills rolling on the floor, her eyebrows raised with a puzzled feeling. However, when she realized what kind of pills they were, her eyes widened with shock. Those are. Xianxia couldn't believe his eyes and almost had his heart jump out of his throat when he saw the pills. "How on earth did you get your hands on so many Earth Advancement pills?" he cried out loud. "You are going to give me all of those pills if I win." Lin Xiaosheng had to forcefully swallow the saliva that was overflowing in her mouth before speaking. "That's right." Su Yang smiled, and he continued, "However, if I win this fight, you will experience for yourself whether I am a limptic bastard or not. Thank you for listening to the story on KevinAudio.com Chapter 390 Fighting Lin Xiaosheng. Get out of here with your nonsense. Why would Fairy Lin do such a thing with you? This is outrageous. How can he say something so shameless before so many people? Fairy Lin, there's no need for you to listen to him. Ignore him and beat his ass down for me." The audience immediately went into an uproar after hearing Su Yang's little bet with Lin Xiaosheng, especially the males there, as he was essentially telling their untainted fairy to sleep with him if he wins the match. Aya, what is he doing? Even Lord Zai couldn't help but shake his head at this situation. He then turned to look at Zai Xingfeng, who seemed relatively calm on the surface. "If not for his status as a Profound Blossom Sect disciple, I would have already proposed marriage for the two of them. If he allows a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect, someone known to have many partners in a single life, into the Zai family, who knows how the world would react to it. Though one thing for sure is that it would be a negative reaction. Perhaps this will make her reconsider her feelings for him. While he's a ridiculous individual with a talent that has never appeared in this world before, he might not be worth staining the entire Zai family's legacy and all of its face. I know you are new to this kind of thing, but this is the nature of someone from the Profound Blossom Sect." Lord Zai decided to warn her after all. "Even if you are faithful to him, who knows if he'll do the same?" After a moment of silence, Zai Xingfeng spoke. "What are you trying to say, father?" "I'm saying that maybe you should think twice before choosing a Tao companion, as they will more likely than not stay with you for the rest of your cultivation life." After another moment of silence, Zai Xingfeng responded, "I think you are misunderstanding something here, father. I only admire Su Yang as an idol because of his gifted talents. There's nothing more to it than that. If you say so, Lord Zai casually shrugged his shoulders. Meanwhile, on the stage, Lin Xiaoshang spoke with narrowed eyes. Are you certain that you'll give me all of those Earth advancement pills if I win? Of course. Why would I fart before so many pairs of eyes? Let me see a few of them just to be sure that they are all real. Lin Xiaoshang said with a doubtful voice. Even the Burning Lotus sect does not have this many Earth advancement pills, so how did he obtain so many of them? And to be willing to gamble so many of them at once, only someone insane or extremely confident that he will win would make such a gamble. Go ahead. You can look at all of them if you'd like, but make it quick, as we're still in the middle of a tournament. Right as Su Yang gave his permission, Lin Xiaoshang immediately went to pick up some of the pills that were rolling on the ground as though they were some useless junk. These are really Earth advancement pills. After authenticating the pills, Lin Xiaoshang forcefully swallowed her saliva and turned to look at Xianxia with a perplexed expression, seemingly asking for advice. However, Xianxia merely shook his head and said, "Only you can make the decision. I have nothing to say." Xianxia felt that he had no right to make this decision for her, as her body was on the line. With that being said, if he was in Lin Xiaoshang's shoes right this moment, he would definitely be willing to take the gamble. After all, hundreds of Earth advancement pills would make any sect virtually peerless and unstoppable, and to risk only a single body for all of this resource, many would consider it only a small risk. Have you come to a decision yet? Su Yang asked her, as he retrieved all of the pills back into the storage pouch. After a moment of silence, Lin Xiaoshang bit her lips and nodded. I am going to beat you anyway, but now that you are going to reward me for doing so, there's no reason for me to refuse such a gift. Do not regret it afterward. Although Su Yang's confidence had shaken her up a little bit at first, after she recalled what her fellow disciples had to suffer because of him, her resolve to defeat him became even stronger. Oh my God! Fairy Lin actually agreed to this pervert's outrageous suggestion. Does this mean that Fairy Lin will have to give her body to that perverted limptic bastard if she loses? Calm down. There's no way that Fairy Lin could lose to someone like him. The spectators couldn't understand why, but they had a feeling that something wrong was about to happen. Are the two of you finally ready to fight? Zai Dong couldn't care less about their bet and only wanted the tournament to resume already. Yes, I am ready, said Su Yang as he casually stepped into the fighting ring. Lin Xiaoshang, who was already inside the ring, also nodded. A few seconds later, Zai Dong waved his hands and shouted, "Let the fight begin." The moment the fight started, Lin Xiaoshang rushed at Su Yang with two fiery hands raised. Heavenly fire! Lin Xiaoshang pushed both of her hands out in front of her, causing a large fiery wheel of flame to burst forward. Oh! Su Yang instantly recognized this technique as one of the techniques he'd given them after forming the alliance. Profound Blossom Art, Petal Fury. Su Yang casually waved his arm, creating a sword light before him that easily cut Lin Xiaoshang's technique in half. Although he's never personally trained the Profound Blossom Art, he was able to learn it just from watching the other disciples. What was that? He used a sword technique with his bare hands. The audience was dumbfounded to witness something so bizarre. He even created a sword light, something that's only possible with a sword. The more experienced sword cultivators found this to be more shocking. Lin Xiaoshang snickered. Chapter 391 Lotus of Madness. After witnessing Su Yang casually block her heavenly fire with ease, Lin Xiaoshang quickly rushed at him with her fists tightly grasped and prepared her second technique. Burning Heaven's Wrath. Once she was close enough, Lin Xiaoshang punched both of her fists outwards and towards Su Yang, who was just casually standing there. It was almost like he wanted to get it. Two swirling lines of flames that slightly resemble two dragons flew at Su Yang with extreme speed, creating a trail of burning ground whenever it traveled. It was radiating such heat that even the spectators could feel a warm breeze pass their face. Boom! The two dragons collided with Su Yang, who was still standing there with a nonchalant expression on his face, even as the flames engulfed his entire figure. SSSSS. What sounded like meat being seared resounded in the audience's ears, causing their body to uncontrollably tremble. Good Lord, he didn't die from that, right? Even if he's not dead, his handsome face will definitely see some drastic changes after eating that fierce attack. Senior apprentice brother should be fine, right? The junior disciples watched with worried expressions on their faces. Even they cannot imagine anyone surviving such a brutal attack head-on. Ha. Lin Xiaoshang breathed heavily as she stared at the burning scene before her. She didn't expect that she would have to use one of her trump cards so early into the match. I didn't kill him, right? While she hated Su Yang for many things, it was definitely not to the point where she wanted to kill him. In fact, if she killed him, it would definitely create some complications with the Profound Blossom Sect and Wang Xuren, who appears to be in a deep relationship with them. Don't worry, such a gentle flame won't be able to hurt a single hair on my body, much less kill me. Su Yang's voice suddenly resounded. A few seconds later, when the flames died out, Su Yang's tall figure and charming face could be seen in the same position without a single injury on his body. Hell, even his robes were left unscathed. It was almost like the attack had missed him entirely. However, the area around him was scorched black, even melted. What? How is that possible? The spectators were shocked to see Su Yang in one piece and perfectly unharmed. He clearly took the attack. There's no way that there's not a single scratch on his body. Even Lin Xiaoshang was shocked speechless, and she stared at Su Yang's dazzling face with a dumbfounded expression. As you can see, your attacks have no effect on me. In fact, we are in two completely different worlds like heaven and earth, so why don't you save your breath and energy by surrendering to me now? You'll need it for when you visit me later. Screw you. Lin Xiaoshang shouted, refusing to believe that she cannot defeat him. You must be using some trick. It must be the same trick that you used when you single-handedly fought our disciples. There's simply no way that someone as young as you can have so much power. After saying those words, Lin Xiaoshang roared loudly, causing an abundant amount of profound qi to explode from within her body. Lotus of madness. A few moments later, black-colored flames could be seen emerging from her pores and covering her body. After another moment, Lin Xiaoshang's entire body was engulfed in this black flame, looking like a beast from hell. That can't be good for your body. Su Yang raised an eyebrow at her fierce appearance. If one looked closely, they could see Lin Xiaoshang's skin slowly turning black, almost like burned skin. What are you doing, Lin Xiaoshang? Xianxia's angry voice suddenly resounded. That technique can only be used when you are in a life-or-death situation. Are you trying to kill yourself in this tournament? The Lotus of Madness technique is an ultimate technique that only core disciples and sect elders can learn at the Burning Lotus sect. And like most ultimate techniques, it's only used during life-or-death situations, where they have no other choice but to use it to survive. However, using this technique will burden one's body heavily, and more often than not harm their cultivation in the future. I know what I am doing, Sect Master. I'll beat him before any real damage is done to my body. Lin Xiaoshang said. 1 minute, that's all I'll need. As she said those words, Lin Xiaoshang moved her legs. In the next instant, almost like she'd teleported, Lin Xiaoshang was at arm's length before Su Yang. Burning heaven's wrath. Lin Xiaoshang punched her fists outward like before. But unlike previously, 3 lines of flames shot out of her hands instead of 2, and they were all colored black and much larger than originally. Su Yang shook his head and said, "Even though this is a tournament and you are my opponent, I cannot bear to watch a beauty such as yourself attempt to self-destruct, especially if I am the reason. Don't worry, you can take your time and visit me whenever you feel like it after this. I won't force you, nor did I plan to in the first place." After saying those words, Su Yang's eyes flickered a profound light. Seal of the divine sword. Su Yang's arms flickered, disappearing for an instant. When they reappeared, Lin Xiaoshang's eyes were blank and her body was falling towards the ground. However, Su Yang gracefully caught Lin Xiaoshang's body before her hair could even touch the floor. What did you do to her?" Huo Yuanjia's panicked voice resounded, and the person himself appeared on the stage a second later. "Calm down, I only knocked her unconscious. Oh, I also temporarily sealed her cultivation to prevent that destructive technique from going out of control and consuming her body, so she won't be able to cultivate or use any techniques in the meantime. She'll return to normal in 3 days." Huo Yuanjia looked at him with a dumbfounded expression. He was speechless, but it was at more than just one thing. Chapter 392, an otherworldly technique. "Hey!" Huo Yuanjia called out to Su Yang as he walked away from the stage. Su Yang stopped walking and turned around to look at him. "Thank you for stopping her," Huo Yuanjia continued. "If you hadn't stopped her, it would have endangered her future as a cultivator. Worst case, she might even become crippled from the backlash." Su Yang smiled and said, "If you really want to thank me, send some willing beauties to my place." Huo Yuanjia did not know how to respond to such words and remained silent with a frozen expression on his face. Meanwhile, the audience was dead silent, almost like there was nobody there. The victor of this match is the Profound Blossom Sect. It was only when Zai Dong announced the result did the silence break. "No way, this cannot be happening. How can the Burning Lotus Sect lose when half of their participants are at the Earth Spirit realm? And it's not as if they were fighting the Divine Sword Sect. Damn it all. I even gambled all of my money on them winning." Many people seemed to be in disbelief, but even more people were in shock at the results of this match. After all, the Burning Lotus Sect, who was thought to become the winner of this tournament by the majority of the people, there had lost to the Profound Blossom Sect, one of the lowest-ranking sect in this entire tournament. As expected of my elder brother, he's just so amazing. Su Yin's eyes flickered with admiration. That technique he used to knock Lin Xiaoshang unconscious. What on earth was that technique? Bai Lihua could feel her back soaking with cold sweat after witnessing Su Yang's final technique that radiated with an otherworldly aura. However, it was not just Bai Lihua. All of the experts there had felt a godly aura from the technique, almost as though it was of divine origin. "Father, that technique Su Yang used," Zai Xingfeng forcefully swallowed. "I know, but I also don't know anything." Lord Zai held a serious expression on his face. "Every technique in this world has a grade, and each grade has a unique aura to it. However, I have never felt this kind of aura before. For example, most mortal-grade techniques would emit an aura that makes it instantly recognizable as a mortal-grade technique. This is how cultivators usually appraise techniques that they have never seen or heard before solely by its aura. However, the technique Su Yang used had emitted an otherworldly aura that nobody could recognize, suggesting it to be a new grade of technique or a really special technique. Although I do not know what grade this technique is, its aura is stronger than any immortal grade technique that I have witnessed before, suggesting it to surpass immortal grade." Lord Zai speculated. After a moment of silence, he continued, "As I thought, his master must be a person from the mythical Holy Central Continent." After the Profound Blossom Sect's unexpected victory, the tournament continued as usual. Sometime later, Lin Xiaoshang slowly opened her eyes. "NNNG. What happened to me?" she mumbled as she sat up, feeling a soft and comfortable material underneath her. "Senior apprentice sister, how is your body feeling? Are you in any pain? The disciple watching over her immediately approached her after seeing her wake up. Besides feeling a little bit weak, I am feeling quite normal. Lin Xiaoshang replied in a soft and confused voice. Thank heavens you are fine, the disciple sighed in relief. What happened to the tournament? Why was I sleeping here? Lin Xiaoshang raised an eyebrow. You don't remember anything. You had used the ultimate technique Lotus of Madness during your match against the Profound Blossom Sect. The disciple gave her a brief explanation. After a moment of pondering, Lin Xiaoshang finally recalled everything that had happened, and memories of the match appeared in her head. Ah, I see. Not only did I lose the match to him, but I had even made a fool out of myself. Don't say something like that, senior apprentice sister. You tried your best. It wasn't shameful at all. The disciple tried to cheer her up. Stop it. You don't need to make such blatant lies. Even though I was under the effects of Lotus of Madness, he easily knocked me out as though he was breathing. He was actually toying with me the entire time. After a moment of silence, Lin Xiaoshang continued. However, the match is not the only thing I have lost in that fight. Lin Xiaoshang showed a bitter smile on her face. The disciple quickly realized what she was talking about and looked at her with wide eyes. Senior apprentice sister Lin, surely you must not be thinking about giving him your body, right? That was the bet, and it was a bet that I'd lost. So what if you lost? You don't need to give him anything. But it was witnessed by hundreds of thousands of people. Nonsense. The people will understand if you don't do it. In fact, I'm certain that they'd rather you not do it. Why don't you speak with the sect master? I'm sure that he'll do something about it. Lin Xiaoshang closed her eyes and became silent as she recalled what Su Yang had said to her before she lost consciousness. A weird smile appeared on her face and she mumbled, "Don't worry," as if I'd actually give him my body over something like this. I won't do anything for now. Really? The disciple looked at her with worried eyes. Lin Xiaoshang nodded before saying, "Can you get the sect master for me? I'd like to speak with him." The disciple nodded and left the room shortly after. Sometime later, Xianxia entered the room. "How are you feeling?" he asked her. "A little bit weak." "That's to be expected since your cultivation base was temporarily sealed. You'll return to normal within a few days. At least that's what Su Yang said." Although Lin Xiaoshang was silent, her expression was filled with questions. "I'm sorry for losing, for letting everybody down after everything that I've said." Lin Xiaoshang mumbled a moment later with slightly watery eyes. Xianxia shook his head and smiled. "A monster like him, I'm not sure even I can win against him, much less you. Don't think too much about it. All you need to know is that nobody is blaming you for losing." Lin Xiaoshang wiped her eyes and nodded with a gentle smile. Chapter 393. My opinions of him has changed. By the time Lin Xiaoshang woke up, many matches had concluded. For the next match, we have the Heavenly Swan Sect and the Azure Cloud Sect. Once the audience heard Zai Dong's words, the entire place erupted with excitement. Who do you think will win this one? That is a difficult one. Although the Heavenly Swan Sect is a powerful place, the Azure Cloud Sect cannot be underestimated this year because of Fairy Hong, and they have already beaten the Million Snake Sect, who are mostly on par with the Heavenly Swan Sect. I am betting 10 Spirit Stones on Heavenly Swan Sect's victory. Then I will bet 50 Spirit Stones on the Azure Cloud Sect, 25 for Heavenly Swan Sect, 15 on Azure Cloud Sect. The audience began betting on the match with an even ratio in both places. "Do the sect masters have any words before we start the match?" Zai Dong asked them. Bai Lihua narrowed her eyes at Gu Guanting and spoke. Don't worry, my disciple has no intentions of harming your disciple." Gu Guanting could guess what she wanted to say and quickly interrupted. What happened with the Million Snake Sect is a personal grudge for her. After a moment of silence, Bai Lihua turned to look at Zai Dong and nodded her head. "Then let the match begin. Please send your first fighter onto the stage." A few moments later, the Azure Cloud Sect and the Heavenly Swan Sect sends in their fighter. Of course, the Azure Cloud Sect disciples were completely helpless against the Heavenly Swan Sect's disciples, as Hong Yuer was the only one who could fight them on an equal footing. However, the Azure Cloud Sect only wanted to exhaust as many Heavenly Swan Sect disciples as they could before allowing Hong Yuer onto the stage, so they did not mind losing every match before that. Many minutes later, the Azure Cloud Sect is on their last fighter, whilst the Heavenly Swan Sect still has 5 disciples they can send onto the stage. Hong Yuer, it's all up to you now, Gu Guanting said to Hong Yuer. Go get them, senior apprentice sister. That's right. They are no match for you. The disciples also cheered for her. I'll be going now. Hong Yuer nodded and began approaching the fighting circle. It's Fairy Hong, she's finally on the stage. The audience immediately became rowdy after seeing Hong Yuer step onto the stage. Despite the Azure Cloud Sect not winning a single round thus far, most of the people still cheered for them. Meanwhile, the disciples from the Heavenly Swan Sect became anxious after seeing Hong Yuer, even a bit fearful of her. There's nothing to be afraid of. Su Yin's voice suddenly resounded, causing the disciples to look at her. After seeing Su Yin's clear eyes and bright expression, the fear in their hearts quickly dissipated. Although Sister Hong is a powerful cultivator, we are not weak either. Let's all defeat her together, okay? The disciples showed a slight smile after hearing Su Yin's words and nodded. Junior apprentice sister is right. We have no reason to fear her. That's right. I am going to fight her with everything that I've got. A few minutes later, Hong Yuer and the Heavenly Swan Sect begin fighting. After exchanging strikes WDTH each other for many minutes, the Heavenly Swan Sect disciple falls back with an exhausted expression. I surrender. The Azure Cloud Sect has secured their first victory this match, Zai Dong shouted. This is it. The Azure Cloud Sect will make their comeback from this point forth. You can do it, Fairy Hong. Defeat the Heavenly Swan Sect and help me earn some money. The audience roared. Half an hour of fighting later, Hong Yuer remained standing on the stage with a nonchalant expression on her beautiful face, looking like an untouchable deity. If I knew the Hong family had such an excellent individual in their family, I would have paid more attention to them. Lord Zai shook his head. I don't know what it is, but I feel an otherworldly aura around her. When I look at her, I am reminded of Su Yang, who carries a similar profound aura around him. It's almost like they are of the same origin. Zai Xingfeng spoke with a pondering expression. Meanwhile, in the spectators' area, Su Yang stared at Hong Yuer with a profound gaze, seemingly in deep thoughts. Her noble glamour, her graceful yet decisive movements, and her cold expression, it resembles a certain someone to the teeth. Su Yang thought to himself. It's almost as though this Hong Yuer is the reincarnation of her. The thought of Hong Yuer being the reincarnation of someone he used to know appeared in Su Yang's head. After a moment of pondering, a gentle and peaceful smile appeared on his face. Even though the chances of something like that could happen is near zero, my very existence supports that small chance of it being real. I guess I will find out the truth once I fight her. Sometime later, Su Yin's petite figure could be seen walking onto the stage. Good luck, junior apprentice sister. Her fellow disciples cheered for her from the back. Su Yin showed them a smile and continued walking. It's the Su family's fairy, Su Yin. Most of the people in the audience immediately recognized Su Yin's face. If I recall correctly, the Sun family and the Hong family have quite a close relationship with each other, right? Yes, I believe Fairy Hong is currently engaged with the eldest son of the Su family. What was his name again? You mean Su Yuhan. But according to my memories, she was engaged to the second son of the Su family. The Su family has a second son. This is news to me. Yes, he's rarely made an appearance in the world and nobody's really seen his face before, so not many people know of him. If my memories serve me right, I believe his name was Su Yang. Wait a minute, Su Yang. That disciple from the Profound Blossom Sect also has a similar name. Ha ha ha, don't even think about it. They are definitely two different individuals with similar names. After all, why would someone from the Su family be at a place like the Profound Blossom Sect? Even an idiot would not make such a connection. You're right, I guess. While the audience chatted with each other, Su Yin was also in a conversation with Hong Yuer. It's been a while, Sister Hong. She spoke with a friendly smile on her face. Indeed, it's been a while, Su Yin. Hong Yuer also smiled back, which made the audience in the background slightly louder. 2 years, right? You stopped visiting us ever since my elder brother disappeared, Su Yin said, and she continued. I also heard that you'd broken your engagement with Su Yuhan and wanted to re-engage with Su Yang. Why did you do it? I thought you hated my elder brother. Hong Yuer remained smiling and spoke. That's quite the accusation, Su Yin. I have never said such words before. You did not, but your actions and attitude towards him certainly implied it. Indeed, I may have been rude to him in the past. However, my opinion of him has changed since then. Su Yin raised an eyebrow and asked, What's changed? A mysterious feeling appeared around Hong Yuer as she spoke. Let's just say I have been enlightened, allowing me to see him in a different light. Chapter 394, A Shameless Strategy, E-Enlightenment, you say? A frown appeared on Su Yun's face. Are you making fun of me, Sister Hong? Why would you think so? I have no reason to lie to you, as I am merely speaking the truth. After a moment of silence, Su Yin asked her, How serious are you about my elder brother? Let's just say it's at a level where neither you or anybody else in this world would understand. I don't believe you. How can I believe someone who didn't give even the slightest efforts to search for my brother when he disappeared? Su Yin shouted. If I beat you in this match, I want you to forget about my brother. Forget about him. I'm afraid that's impossible. Hong Yuer gently shook her head. And how can you know for sure that I didn't search for Su Yang? After another moment of silence, Hong Yuer continued. I won't usually do something like this, but since you are Su Yang's little sister, I will make this an exception and accept your unreasonable demands. However, if I win, you must accept whatever relationship I may have with Su Yang. Deal. Su Yin had no intention of losing to Hong Yuer, hence why she agreed without hesitation. Are the two of you finally ready to fight? Zidong asked them with a weird expression on his face. Because there was a fierce aura between them, Zidong didn't dare to interrupt them all this time and patiently waited for them to calm down. I'm ready, said Su Yin as she positioned herself. I am also ready. Hong Yuer nodded at Zidong. Then, begin. The second the fight started, Su Yin used a movement technique to close their distance. Second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist. Su Yin punched her tightly grasped fists at Hong Yuer, causing a ripple of profound qi to spread. However, Hong Yuer calmly dodged the attack by shifting her body slightly to the right, barely evading Su Yin's fist. First heavenly form, mountain-splitting palm strike. Immediately after missing her first strike, Su Yin quickly adjusted her position to strike again. Boom! Su Yin's strike was narrowly dodged again, but the strike had destroyed a dozen tiles on the stage. Fierce strikes and decisive movements. You have matured a lot since I last saw you. Hong Yuer praised her after dodging the attack. I don't need your praises. Second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist. Once again, Hong Yuer dodged the attack. Your attacks will never hit me. Why don't you just give up? I'd rather avoid hitting Su Yang's little sister if possible. Su Yin's face fumed after hearing her words. I knew it. You are mocking me. Hong Yuer sighed and raised the sheathed sword in her hand slightly. When Su Yin saw this, her body instinctively reacted and quickly retreated to a safer distance. However, a moment later, Su Yin noticed that her body had gotten lighter for some reason. Su Yin decided to look down, but when she saw that the lower part of her robes had been shortened by something sharp, her body shivered from fear. What was that? I couldn't even see her unsheath the sword. Her robes had obviously been cut by Hong Yuer's sword, but she wasn't able to notice it, much less react to it. Your senses are quite sharp. If you hadn't retreated just now, your undergarment would be in full display to the public right now. Hong Yuer spoke with a mischievous smile on her face. I am not very good at holding back, but I do not want to harm you, so this is the only way I can think of that'll make you surrender. Why, you villain, you coward, fight me fairly. Su Yin gnashed her teeth in anger. What are you going to do if I refuse? Hurry up and surrender. At this rate, you'll have to fight me while being naked. Why, you bitch? I will never let my brother anywhere near a woman like you. Damn it. If I don't surrender this fight, she'll eventually strip me naked before so many people. I would rather die than to let anyone else that's not my beloved brother see my body. But if I give up, I will have to allow this vixen near my brother, and I don't want that either. Su Yin was put into a predicament by Hong Yuer, who threatened to strip her naked if she does not surrender the fight. It was something she would have never expected. As I thought, although she shares the same appearance as Sister Hong, her character is entirely different. It's almost as though she's possessed by a ghost. Su Yin narrowed her eyes at Hong Yuer. Ho, what's this? Are you crying? Hong Yuer covered her mouth and acted surprised when Su Yin's eyes began tearing up. I am not crying. Su Yin bit her lips and resisted her urge to cry. Then do you feel like surrendering yet? I do not have the patience to wait all day. I will not surrender, Su Yin shouted. Then Hong Yuer's eyes glowed a mysterious light, and the sword in her hands trembled slightly. Whoosh! Ah! Su Yin cried out loud when her sleeves suddenly slipped off her arms, revealing her slim and smooth arms. How shameless, how dirty! The Heavenly Swan Sect disciples were dumbfounded by Hong Yuer's unexpected and dirty strategy to get Su Yin to surrender. After all, this kind of dirty play is something one would expect a man to do, not a beautiful genius like Hong Yuer. Oi! Gu Guanting, what the hell is this? Is this how the Azure Cloud sect does things now? Bai Lihua decided to direct her anger towards Gu Guanting, Hong Yuer's master. However, Gu Guanting, who was as surprised as everyone else by Hong Yuer's antics, quickly shook his head and said, Don't blame me. I have nothing to do with this. Screw you. I want to have a word with you after this. Don't you dare run away, Bai Lihua shouted at him. Why, yes. Gu Guanting surrendered his fate and sighed loudly. Oh, Hong Yuer, what the hell are you thinking? First the Million Snakes sect and now this. Are you trying to get me killed? Gu Guanting felt an urge to cry. Chapter 395 Hong Yuer's Real Cultivation. What an unprecedented event. The audience was dumbstruck by this situation, something nobody there could have predicted. I hate you, Sister Hong. Su Yin was at a loss for words. It's your fault for trying to separate us, Su Yin. Hong Yuer casually shrugged. Even if you are his little sister, I won't let you get away without any consequences. Anyway, have you come to a conclusion? If you don't surrender within the next 10 seconds, I will remove the lower half of your robes. When the male audience heard Hong Yuer's words, their minds couldn't help but imagine the scene. On one hand, they do not support Hong Yuer's method of forcing Su Yin to surrender. On the other hand, however, they wouldn't mind seeing this entire thing play out to the very end. Damn it, this wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to beat her fair and square and have elder brother praise me afterward. Su Yin was on the verge of crying out loud. 10, 9, 8. Hong Yuer began counting down, causing Su Yin's body to tremble. I will not forgive you for this. Su Yin slowly raised her hand, seemingly prepared to surrender. However, just as she was about to open her mouth and surrender, a familiar voice resounded in Su Yin's head. The vanishing sword dance is a technique that focuses on fooling one's perception. You won't see it with just your eyes. You need to feel the wind in the air and predict the sword's direction. Elder brother, Su Yin was pleasantly surprised to hear Su Yang's voice in her head. 5, 4, 3. Hong Yuer continued counting down. Close your eyes. See, close my eyes. Su Yin was speechless. To close one's eyes before a swordmaster during a battle was akin to accepting death. However, as ridiculous as it may sound, Su Yin has unwavering faith in Su Yang, so she closed her eyes and lowered her arm. 2, 1, 0. Hong Yuer raised the sword in her grasp slightly. You can only blame yourself for being stubborn, little sister. The right, Su Yin's eyes suddenly snapped open. Second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist. Ting. A sharp sound of metal colliding with each other resounded in the area. Oh, Hong Yuer's eyes widened slightly, seemingly surprised that Su Yin had barely blocked her strike. I did it. I blocked it. Su Yin shouted in a cheerful tone while looking at Su Yang, who was sitting in the audience. Seeing Su Yin look at Su Yang, Hong Yuer immediately realized how Su Yin understood the trick to her vanishing sword dance so quickly. Is this your way of telling me to fight her properly, Su Yang? A small smile appeared on Hong Yuer's face. If that's what you want, I'll become a little serious just for you, my darling. Little sister, here I come. Hong Yuer suddenly tossed the sword in her hands and rushed at Su Yin. What are you trying to do now? Surprised by Hong Yuer's puzzling action, Su Yin prepared to run away. You wanted to fight me properly, right? Allow me to fulfill your wish. Hong Yuer imitated Su Yin's previous movements and pushed her fists forward. Second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist. What? Su Yin was too surprised to see Hong Yuer use her own technique to even defend herself properly, allowing the strike to connect perfectly. Ah! Su Yin shouted in pain as her body was tossed into the air before flying many meters into the distance after being struck, feeling as though she'd just been stomped by an elephant. What? Impossible! How does Hong Yuer know that technique? Bai Lihua and the other disciples were as shocked as Xian. Unless Su Yang also shared the technique with Hong Yuer, there was no way she could have learned this technique. However, Su Yang never shared this technique with her, so the only explanation would be that Hong Yuer had learned the technique after watching Su Yin use it. Of course, besides Su Yang and his vast experience as an immortal, someone with such monstrous talent shouldn't exist yet, unless Hong Yuer was similar to Su Yang, someone whose experience surpasses all of this world's logic. This is a pretty decent technique for a heaven-grade technique, Hong Yuer casually said. How do you know that technique? Su Yin spoke as she struggled to stand up. If you keep using the same technique over and over again, I'm going to learn it even if I don't want to. What kind of nonsense is that? Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry at such ridiculous words. Are you ready to give up yet, little sister? You should have realized by now that you can't defeat me, Hong Yuer said to her. Ever? Su Yin shouted. Hong Yuer sighed. What a pity. A moment later, an invisible pressure appeared in the arena, dumbfounding Su Yin and the audience. What is going on? Su Yin looked at Hong Yuer with wide eyes filled with disbelief. If I don't show you the difference between us clearly, you will never understand it. A vast amount of profound qi suddenly exuded from Hong Yuer's body, causing her cultivation base to skyrocket in levels. The first level of the earth spirit realm. The second level, the third level, the fourth level. Within just a few seconds, Hong Yuer's cultivation base soared from the peak of the true spirit realm to the peak of the earth spirit realm. Impossible. Su Yin's face turned blank, looking as though she was daydreaming. I am not finished yet. With another push, Hong Yuer's cultivation base advanced by another level, entering the heavenly spirit realm. Good heavens! Bai Lihua and Lord Zai mumbled simultaneously. Zai Xingfang remained silent, but hidden behind her veil was a serious expression. As for the audience, they were all shocked silent. It was so quiet within the Colosseum that even a pin drop could be heard from a mile away. Chapter 396. I'll speak with you soon. Su Yang, this can't be possible. Lord Zai frowned. The spiritual totem reported her cultivation base to be at the true spirit realm, but she's clearly exuding the cultivation of the heavenly spirit realm. The spiritual totem has never been wrong even after 1,000 years. A moment later, Lord Zai suddenly realized something. Wait a minute, she's not the only one. That Su Yang is reported to be at the profound spirit realm, which is clearly bullshit. What does this mean? Do they have a method to hide their real cultivation base from the spiritual totem? While Lord Zai pondered, Su Yang stared at Hong Yuer with a mysterious smile on his face. Su Yang, what is going on here? How's she suddenly at the heavenly spirit realm? Liu Lanjai asked him with a bewildered expression. What do you mean suddenly? She's always been at the heavenly spirit realm. It's just that she had hidden that fact and pretended to be at the true spirit realm this entire time. But that's even more confusing. She should have been tested with the spiritual totem. A little toy like that will only work so much. There's plenty of ways to get around it. Then, Liu Lanjai realized something and looked at Su Yang with wide eyes. Don't tell me you also did something to your cultivation base. After all, it's a little bit hard to believe that you are only at the profound spirit realm when everyone else is at least true spirit realm. Su Yang merely shrugged and said, perhaps. Meanwhile, Su Yin stood on the stage with a dazed expression, seemingly losing all of her confidence and desire to fight Hong Yuer, who was actually an entire realm above her. Ha ha. What kind of joke is this? How am I supposed to win this fight? She mumbled to herself. Do you finally understand the difference between us and why you cannot win against me, Su Yang's little sister? Even if there's 10 of you, I will still win this fight. Hong Yuer suddenly said to her. After a moment of silence, Su Yin lifted her head and stared at Hong Yuer with a serious expression. We won't know that until I try. My elder brother is watching me right now. I cannot surrender without even trying, she shouted. Hong Yuer showed a slight smile and said, You have really matured, Su Yin, how admirable. Very well, then allow me to fight you to the end. Su Yin immediately straightened her posture and prepared to clash with Hong Yuer. Third heavenly form, heavenly aura. A powerful and divine glow suddenly enveloped Su Yin, raising her cultivation base by 3 levels. I just learned this yesterday, so I'll only be able to use it for a minute at most. Su Yin thought. As expected of someone from the Su family, they are people with unwavering hearts. Although the audience did not believe Su Yin could defeat someone that's an entire realm about her, they admired Su Yin for not withdrawing despite the clear difference in their power, even cheering for her. Even if she loses this one, nobody would blame her. Forget about Fairy Su. Even the Heavenly Swan Sect's master might not be able to defeat her. Fairy Hong is simply too strong. Yin, if you can remain standing even after this strike of mine, I will admit defeat. How does that sound? Hong Yuer suddenly said to her. Really? A glimmer of hope appeared in Su Yin's eyes. Of course. Hong Yuer nodded and imitated Su Yin's movements again. The second heavenly form again. Su Yin raised an eyebrow. Here I come. Hong Yuer suddenly dashed towards Su Yin, who felt like she was watching an unstoppable dragon rush at her. Second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist. Hong Yuer thrust her fists forward, but unlike previously, it was supported by her heavenly spirit realm cultivation base, making the heaven-grade technique's strength resemble that of an immortal grade technique. Deciding to focus purely on defense, Su Yin held her arms before herself and prepared to block the attack with her entire body. Boom! The moment Hong Yuer's fist clashed with Su Yin, a powerful ripple that was filled with profound qi swept the arena, causing a small earthquake within the Colosseum. As for Su Yin, she was unable to resist the blunt force of the strike and directly flew off the arena, before hitting the wall and falling unconscious. FF fighter Su Yin has fallen off the platform and been rendered unconscious. The winner of this fight is Hong Yuer, and the Azure Cloud sect wins this match. Zai Dong announced after snapping out of his daze. After defeating Su Yin, Hong Yuer turned to look at a certain individual within the spectators and showed a mysterious smile on her face. I'll speak with you soon, Su Yang, she mumbled before leaving the stage, leaving behind a graceful aura. I can't believe it. The Heavenly Swan sect also lost to them. Liu Lanjai mumbled after witnessing their loss. Do we really have a chance against them? Sun Jingjing sighed in a gloomy voice. Someone at the heavenly spirit realm can easily deal with a dozen experts at the earth spirit realm. Unless we also have someone at that level, I doubt we'll be able to defeat Hong Yuer. What do you think, Sister Fang? Who knows? Fang Zhelin calmly shrugged her shoulders. How can you remain so calm? Is it confidence or something else? Sun Jingjing raised an eyebrow. Trust. I guess it would be trust, she replied. Trust? In what? No what but whom? Fang Zhelin smiled. Since when did you reach the heavenly spirit realm? You could have at least told me your own master, Gu Guanting said to Hong Yuer when she returned to them. Oh, I didn't, then I must have forgot, Hong Yuer said in a nonchalant voice. Why you forgot? Listen here, I'm tired, so I'll retire for the day. Hong Yuer interrupted him and quickly walked away. Ha, always doing whatever she wants. Gu Guanting sighed. Although he wanted to lecture her, he didn't have the courage despite being the sect master. There was something about Hong Yuer that makes him nervous whenever he's around her, almost like he's in the presence of a supreme being. Chapter 397 Fourth Day of the Tournament NNG. What happened to me? Su Yin slowly opened her eyes, still feeling pain on both her arms and half of her body. You're finally awake. Hong Yuer knocked you off the stage. Bai Lihua was right beside her when she woke up. Sect master, so I lost. Unfortunately. Damn it, Su Yin gnashed her teeth. While she was upset that the Heavenly Swan sect had lost the tournament, it couldn't compare to the pain of losing to Hong Yuer as a woman, or at least that's how Su Yin saw it. There's no need to be frustrated. Hong Yuer had fooled everybody and turned out to be at the heavenly spirit realm. There was no way you or anyone else could have defeated her. Even I am not confident that I could defeat her. Bai Lihua thought Su Yin was upset because they had lost the tournament and tried to soothe her. By the way, why are we inside the hotel, and where's my elder brother? Su Yin asked her. The tournament has already concluded, and since the Profound Blossom Sect has won, they should still be at the Colosseum waiting to find their next match. I see, Su Yin nodded. Meanwhile, inside the Colosseum, Liu Lanjai looked at the paper she just picked. This is. Lanjai showed Su Yang the piece of paper and the number 1 on it. We'll be fighting first tomorrow. Sometime later, once everyone had picked their number, Zai Dong began announcing the matches. We'll be fighting Mount Kai Sword Academy, huh? Liu Lanjai sighed after hearing their name. Never heard of them. Su Yang shrugged. The Mount Kai Sword Academy is said to be the second best in terms of swordsmanship in this world, only below the Divine Sword Sect. They are quite famous within the northern region. Only the second best. How are they compared to the Heavenly Swan Sect or the Million Snakes Sect? They're only slightly behind them, I guess. Then there's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about? Liu Lanjai raised an eyebrow. Well, since we did beat the Burning Lotus Sect, the Mount Kai Sword Academy shouldn't be much of a problem. An hour later, when the Profound Blossom Sect returned to the hotel, Su Yang gathered the disciples and said, For tomorrow's fight, I want Fang Zhelin to fight all 10 rounds. What? The disciples looked at him and Fang Zhelin with wide eyes. Do you think you can do it? Su Yang asked her. After a moment of silence, Fang Zhelin nodded. I am the only one who's yet to fight a single match since day 1. I was beginning to wonder if I'll ever get a chance to enter the stage. And to make it more exciting, if you manage to win all 10 matches in a row, I will reward you with an immortal grade technique, said Su Yang. What? The disciples showed a shocked face after hearing his words, and even Fang Zhelin couldn't help but stare at him with a dazed expression. I won't let you down. Fang Zhelin spoke with a serious expression a moment later. The following morning, the Profound Blossom Sect made their way to the Colosseum for the 4th day in a row. And although there were less than 30 sects fighting today, the crowd was much larger and rowdier than the previous days. Welcome to the 4th day of the regional tournament. For our first match today, we have the Mount Kai Sword Academy versus the Profound Blossom Sect, this year's second most surprising dark horse, Zai Dong said. We are only second. The Azure Cloud Sect must be first, huh? Sun Jingjing guessed. There's no helping it. Hong Yuer being at the heavenly spirit realm is simply too shocking. Fang Zhelan said, "Speaking of Hong Yuer, did you hear about what had happened yesterday? Thousands of people flooded the Century Jade Hotel after the tournament yesterday because they wanted to meet with Hong Yuer. There were even some big families trying to court her with extremely expensive treasures." Liu Lanjai said while looking at Su Yang. Hearing that such a thing had happened, Su Yang smiled and said, "Is it that shocking? Hong Yuer is a real beauty and has unparalleled talent in this world. If I didn't know any better, I would have also tried to approach her." "If you didn't know any better," Liu Lanjai raised an eyebrow, puzzled as to why he would use such a phrase. A few minutes later, when Zai Dong called for the fighters to enter the stage, Fang Zhelan began approaching the stage with a serious expression on her face. "Good luck, senior apprentice sister." The junior disciples cheered for her. "Beat them down, Sister Fang," as did the other disciples. Meanwhile, the audience expressed surprise for Fang Zhelan's appearance. Because she hasn't fought a single round ever since the first day, they thought that she was the Profound Blossom Sect's final trump card. Now to have her enter the stage on the first round, what does it mean? The Mount Kai Sword Academy has sent out Disciple Du, who is at the 7th level of the true spirit realm. Zai Dong introduced Fang Zhelan's opponent. Meanwhile, the Profound Blossom Sect has chosen Disciple Fang to be their fighter, who, shockingly, is at the 7th level of the Earth Spirit Realm. After learning of Fang Zhelan's cultivation base, half of the audience gasped in shock. "What? How is that even possible?" The Profound Blossom Sect also had someone this talented amongst them. Although it's not anywhere near Hong Yuer's level of shock, this is still pretty baffling. Why are there so many peerless geniuses appearing this year? Where have they been hiding? Why appear now? 7th level Earth Spirit Realm, are you kidding me? Even the Mount Kai Sword Academy's disciple couldn't believe it. How is he supposed to fight someone that's an entire realm above him? He wouldn't even last a single strike from her. Hell, he might as well be fighting Hong Yuer right now. Chapter 398, Courting Fang Zhelan, Profound Blossom Art, Falling Petals. Fang Zhelan unleashed a dozen devastating sword strikes within the blink of an eye, instantly blowing away her opponent. Once the Mount Kai Sword Academy disciple flew off the stage, Zai Dong shouted in excitement. Fang Zhelan defeats her opponent with ease, and the Profound Blossom Sect secures their 5th victory this match. Although she's at the 7th level of the Earth Spirit Realm, it seems like she only has the strength of someone at the 1st level, said Zai Xingfang after analyzing the fights. Another explanation would be that she's limiting her own strength to that level on purpose. This year's tournament is simply too crazy even for me. Lord Zai showed a weird smile. Is this a new era for cultivators? Meanwhile, the disciples of the Profound Blossom Sect watched Fang Zhelan dominate the rounds with envy. Even though her strength is restricted to the 1st level of the Earth Spirit Realm, she's still dealing with disciples from an elite sect with ease. The Immortal grade technique might as well be in her hands now, Sun Jingjing sighed. A few more minutes later, Fang Zhelan defeated another disciple, bringing their total rounds 1 to 6. Another half an hour later, Fang Zhelan defeats the 10th disciple from the Mount Kai Sword Academy, securing the Profound Blossom Sect's victory for the day. "I've defeated all of them," Fang Zhelan said to Su Yang afterward, who was casually smiling. "Yes, you did." Su Yang opened his palm to show her a piece of jade. "Take it. This is an immortal grade technique." Fang Zhelan raised an eyebrow, as she has never seen a cultivation technique hidden within a piece of jade before. Just pour some of your profound qi inside the jade, and the technique will appear in your head as though it's already a part of your memories. It's much more convenient than carrying a scroll around, right? Thank you. Fang Zhelan was speechless and unsure of how to show her gratitude properly, as she has never even dreamt of obtaining an immortal grade technique in her life. When she accepted the jade slip, her hands were trembling, almost as though she was holding a priceless treasure that was as fragile as thin glass. After giving Fang Zhelan her reward, he turned to look at the other disciples that were practically drooling at the jade slip in Fang Zhelan's hands. Once the tournament is over, all of you will also have a chance to cultivate an immortal grade technique. His words that were akin to lightning during a clear sky caused all of the disciples to look at him with wide eyes, seemingly in disbelief. Really? Sun Jingjing couldn't help but ask him. Of course. I love you, Su Yang. Me too. The disciples suddenly threw themselves at Su Yang and embraced him as though he was a doll meant for squeezing. After the Profound Blossom Sect's victory, the Azure Cloud Sect went onto the stage, and as many have expected, their opponents immediately surrendered, as their efforts would only be pointless. A few hours later, when all of the matches concluded, the remaining 12 sects went to pick their next match. I pray that we won't get matched with the Azure Cloud Sect. Liu Lanjai silently prayed to the heavens as she picked the number in the box. A few minutes later, Zai Dong announces the matches. Number 5, Profound Blossom Sect in 9 Beast Halls. Yes. Liu Lanjai tightens her fists in excitement when they don't have to fight the Azure Cloud Sect. Although the 9 Beast Halls is definitely stronger than Mount Kai Sword Academy, as long as they don't have someone at the Heavenly Spirit Realm, we should be able to win. Once everyone knew their match for the next day, they all went home to prepare. However, when the Profound Blossom Sect arrived at their hotel, they were instantly surrounded by people that watched their fight today. I am an elder of the Gu family from the northern region, and I would like to inform Fairy Fang that our young master requests for dinner tonight. Ignore the Gu family. They are nothing in my Wan family's eyes. Our young master Wan has been in a daze ever since he witnessed Fairy Fang's beauty on the stage and would like to have a word with her. Fairy Fang. My name is Han Yifan, and I am the direct disciple of the Thunder. I am Jiang Chen, and I have countless people approached Fang Zhelan with the intent of courting her, dumbfounding the Profound Blossom Sect disciples. Senior apprentice sister Fang is suddenly very famous. The junior disciples were in a daze. As time passed, even more people crowded them, and within a blink of the eyes, the entire street was filled with people trying to court Fang Zhelan. Despite her status as a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect, these people did not care whether or not she was pure, as her talent was simply too shocking to ignore, and they wanted to rope her into their family no matter the cost. Shut up! Liu Lanjai suddenly roared, silencing the place. If you want to speak with my disciple, you will have to go through me first. However, due to the ongoing tournament, I will not allow anyone to disturb her. If you still wish to speak with her, you may make an appointment after the tournament ends and we have returned to our sect. After a moment of silence, Fang Zhelan spoke. Sect Master, there's no need for any of that. She then stepped forward and spoke in a loud yet calm voice. I have no intention of joining any family, as I have discarded that idea before I'd even become a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect, so please forget about me. If you have something else besides that matter, you may visit the Profound Blossom Sect at any time after the tournament. Now if you'll excuse us, we have tons to prepare for tomorrow. Chapter 399, I want to pleasure you all night with this body 18+. What an ordeal that was. Sun Jingjing sighed after they finally managed to return to the hotel. I never want to experience something like that again. Senior apprentice sister Sun doesn't want to be popular. The junior disciples asked her. Sun Jingjing shook her head and said, as long as the person I love looks at me, I couldn't care less even if the world ignores me. Wow, so romantic. The junior disciples looked at her with sparkling eyes, especially the girls. Does this mean senior apprentice sister Sun has a crush? Who is it? One of the junior disciples asked. Is that even a question? Of course, that would be senior apprentice brother Su, said another junior disciple. You guys. Keep your voice down. Sun Jingjing blushed from listening to their words. However, she took a peek at Su Yang's handsome a moment later and blushed even more. See, senior apprentice brother Su is the only male disciple in the sect that can cultivate with the female disciples, so it's only natural that it would be him. The junior disciples whispered to each other. A few moments later, Liu Lanjai gathered the disciples and said, "We are now down to 12 sects in the tournament. Every opponent we fight from this point forth are all elites amongst the elites. Even though we have been doing amazing, we cannot underestimate them, especially the Azure Cloud sect. Don't worry about the Azure Cloud sect and fight to your heart's content. Without Hong Yuer, they're not any better than the sects that we've already defeated." Su Yang suddenly said with a smile. Liu Lanjai turned to look at him with a puzzled face but did not question him in the end. After speaking with the disciples for a few minutes, Liu Lanjai allowed them to return to their own rooms to rest for the day. Junior sister Sun, Fang Zhelan, suddenly called for her. "Is there something wrong, Sister Fang?" Sun Jingjing noticed a hint of hesitation in Fang Zhelan's eyes. "Yes, I'd like a favor from you, a favor from me. This is indeed unusual." Sun Jingjing thought to herself. She has never seen Fang Zhelan looking so uncertain. "If it's within my capabilities, I won't say no." Sun Jingjing answered with a serious expression. Fang Zhelan nodded and continued, "Then, I would like you to sleep with the other disciples just for tonight. There's something I must discuss with Su Yang alone." Sun Jingjing looked a little bit dazed for a moment before saying, "That's it. I was worried for a second since you looked so hesitant. It's just one night, I don't mind it. Thank you." Fang Zhelan showed her a smile. Many hours later, when nighttime arrived, Fang Zhelan entered her room. Naturally, Su Yang was also in the room, as he'd been silently cultivating by himself for the entire day. "Su Yang," Fang Zhelan suddenly called for him. A moment later, Su Yang opened his eyes that glowed a profound light for a second. He turned to look at Fang Zhelan, who seemed a little bit different today. "What's the matter?" he asked her. "Regarding what I said earlier. Did she say something to me earlier today?" Su Yang pondered but could not recall such events that would make her act like this. "I had said that I wouldn't join any family, and I truly meant that," Fang Zhelan continued. "Even before I was old enough to understand what dual cultivation was, I had discarded the idea of having a family, since I prefer being by myself, and without having any complicated relationships. My resolution remained the same even after I joined the Profound Blossom Sect. I couldn't care less about my chastity or my body, and I cultivated to my heart's content without retaining any everlasting emotions even after meeting countless people. However, ever since I met you," Fang Zhelan suddenly began loosening her robes, revealing her smooth skin and slim body. "Even though this body of mine is no longer pure, even though I'd promised myself that I will not belong to anybody, even if you do not want it, I just want you to know that this tainted body of mine is now yours and forever only yours, and you can do anything to it and I will not utter a single word." Su Yang was speechless for a long moment before speaking in a soft voice. "Is this your way of repaying me for the immortal grade technique? Because if it is, no." Fang Zhelan suddenly interrupted him. "This has nothing to do with the immortal grade technique. Even if I give you everything in my possession, including my body and soul, it would not even be worth half of the immortal grade technique's value. I had given up my identity as a woman when I joined the Profound Blossom Sect. I thought I didn't want a family. However, you have changed my heart. After being in your embrace for hundreds of times, I cannot help but want to remain in your embrace forever. But I know that's all but an unrealistic dream. We live in different worlds, you and I am simply not worthy. I am not worthy." It was a phrase that Su Yang has heard countless times in his lifetime from his partners. Whether she is the heavenly emperor's daughter or an insignificant disciple from a small sect, Only I can determine if she's worthy of me, so do not devalue yourself like this. As for your tainted body, I cannot see anything dirty about it." Su Yang said as he pulled Fang Zhelan towards his body and made her sit on his lap like a little girl being spoiled. But Su Yang gently pressed his finger on her soft lips, momentarily sealing her ability to speak. "Since you think you have a tainted body and I think otherwise, allow me to examine every nook and cranny of this body just to be sure." Su Yang gently caressed his fingers around her body, from her neck to her legs, causing her body to tremble. "There's no dirt on my skin, so it must be something else, huh?" Su Yang opened his mouth and gently kissed her neck, before moving down to her breasts. "Ah!" Fang Zhelan moaned softly as her steamed buns were being teased. "There's nothing wrong with the upper half, so it must be the lower half, huh?" Su Yang laid her body on the bed before spreading her legs and giving her little sister a gentle kiss. Feeling Su Yang's warm tongue splitting her flower petals, Fang Zhelan's little sister tingled with joy. After many minutes of tasting Fang Zhelan's wet flower, Su Yang said, "I wasn't able to taste anything dirty either. So what do you suggest I do next?" Fang Zhelan responded with teary eyes. "I get it. I was wrong. I am not tainted. You can do whatever you want. This body already belongs to you." Su Yang shook his head and said, "If I went by your logic, I would be this universe's dirtiest man. As for your body, it's only mine during our cultivation. Otherwise, it's still your body, and I don't dare to claim it even if you forced me with a sword on my neck. Furthermore, if your body is mine during cultivation, then my body is also yours," said Su Yang as he removed his own robes, unleashing his awakened dragon that looked as though it wanted to tear a hole in the heavens at this moment. "My body is yours, and your body is mine." Fang Zhelan slowly pushed herself to sit on the bed with her face directly before Su Yang's raging dragon. She then wrapped her fingers around it and opened her mouth. A moment later, Su Yang could feel Fang Zhelan's soft mouth around the tip of his rod with her tongue pleasuring it on the inside. It was an indescribable feeling, a heavenly feeling that would instantly melt one's mind. After massaging the dragon's head with her tongue, Fang Zhelan proceeded to swallow the entire dragon in one go, allowing it to dive deep into her throat. Sometime later, after many minutes of passionate sucking from Fang Zhelan, Su Yang released his first wave of divine liquid. A large amount of Yang Qi flowed into Fang Zhelan's mouth, and she swallowed all of it without hesitation. Fang Zhelan removed her mouth from Su Yang's rod afterward. However, as she'd expected, it was still raging and relentless, like a real dragon. "Stick it in me. I want to pleasure you all night with this body." Fang Zhelan laid on the bed and spread her arms wide open. Su Yang showed her a smile, and a moment later, he thrust his rod into her body. Fang Zhelan moaned loudly, feeling every nook and cranny of her tight hole being rammed by a mighty dragon. Although they have cultivated many times before today, this is the first time Fang Zhelan's ever felt so passionate about their cultivation. It felt like this is her first time dual cultivating, and it was with a man that she truly loves. Thus, Fang Zhelan and Su Yang cultivated for the entire night, and if not for the sound-concealing formation that Su Yang had deployed beforehand, nobody in the hotel would have been able to sleep through Fang Zhelan's intense moaning. Many hours of cultivation later, Fang Zhelan mumbled with a face of complete satisfaction. "They say you won't experience the real thing unless you love the other person. I guess this is what true dual cultivation really is." Chapter 400. A bunch of cowards. Early in the following morning, the Profound Blossom Sect gathered at the hotel lobby. "How did it go with Su Yang yesterday, Sister Fang? Did you manage to finish your business properly?" Sun Jingjing approached her and asked. Fang Zhelan nodded with a bright smile and said, "Yes, it went perfectly." She then continued, "Junior sister, if you want, you can share the room with him alone tonight. I will sleep in another room. There's no need, really. Sun Jingjing calmly shook her head. Even if you say that, my body needs to rest for at least a few days after cultivating with him for the entire night, Fang Zhelan said with a slightly red face. Even now, I can barely stand properly. The two of you stayed up for the entire night. Sun Jingjing looked at her with wide eyes. She cannot help but wonder what kind of business she had with Su Yang that ended up with cultivation for an entire night. However, it was not as though they had never skipped a night of sleep to cultivate with Su Yang, so what was so different about this cultivation? Unfortunately, Sun Jingjing did not dare to ask her. After everyone gathered in the lobby, they left for the Colosseum. On their way to the Colosseum, they kept attracting the pedestrians' gazes. It was almost as though they had become celebrities like the elite sects. Look, it's the Profound Blossom Sect. Despite being a low-ranking sect, they have managed to remain in the tournament even now. I heard there are two exceptional geniuses that have reached the Earth Spirit realm in their place, and one of them is especially talented, reaching the 7th level. Nobody would believe me when I said that they were near the brink of destruction half a year ago. Even if they lose today, they'll surely attract numerous disciples in the future. I'm not too sure about that. After all, their practices are a bit. You are underestimating the amount of perverts there are in this world. If I had a better-looking appearance, I would not hesitate to apply to their place. When the Profound Blossom Sect disciples heard the pedestrians mumbling, their mouths curved into a slight smile, clearly happy to see their reputation slowly restore to its former glory. Sometime later, when the Profound Blossom Sect arrived at the Colosseum, they were greeted by the Heavenly Swan Sect. "Hey, we will be watching your performance today," said Bai Lihua. "Since we have already lost, there's nothing else to do." Su Yin shrugged her shoulders. Bai Lihua looked at her with squinted eyes. "Anyways, who will you be fighting today?" she then asked. "9 beast halls," said Liu Lanjai. "So you got lucky, huh?" "What do you mean by that?" Liu Lanjai raised an eyebrow. "You were lucky enough to avoid the Azure Cloud Sect after all." "I guess you are right if you put it like that." The Profound Blossom Sect and the Heavenly Swan Sect entered the Colosseum shortly later. After an hour of waiting, Zidong finally appeared on the stage. "Welcome to the 5th day of the regional tournament. We only have 6 matches today with 12 sects fighting." Zidong proceeded to explain the rules one more time for those new there. "With that being said, allow me to introduce our first match of the day." The Azure Cloud Sect and the Zidong suddenly stopped talking before he even finished his sentence. Where's the Ancient Grave Sect?" He realized that Azure Cloud Sect's opponent, the Ancient Grave Sect, was nowhere to be found. "The Ancient Grave Sect has 15 minutes to show up before they automatically forfeit the match," Zidong loudly announced. The audience was speechless. The Ancient Grave Sect must be absent on purpose, right? It can't be anything else. They knew that they couldn't win against the Azure Cloud Sect and decided to run away. They'll surely be a laughing stock after this. We can't really blame them. The Azure Cloud Sect Hong Yuer is simply too powerful. She's scaring away all of their competitors. After waiting around for 10 minutes, somebody approached Zidong and whispered something into his ears. When Zidong heard this, he shook his head. "I have just received information that the Ancient Grave Sect was spotted leaving the city last night, so they are no longer in the city. With that being said, due to the Ancient Grave Sect's absence, they automatically forfeit the match, and the Azure Cloud Sect wins this match by default." An elite sect running away with their tails between their legs, what a disgrace to their title and an embarrassment to the Zai family. Bai Lihua sighed with contempt. Right as Bai Lihua said those words, Lord Zai stood up and shouted loudly, "I could have never expected that the Ancient Grave Sect would be a bunch of cowards. Starting today, they are no longer an elite sect. Instead, I shall bestow this title to the Azure Cloud Sect." Hearing Lord Zai strip the Ancient Grave Sect of their elite status, The audience roared with cheering for the Azure Cloud Sect. "Thank you, Your Majesty, for bestowing the Azure Cloud Sect this prestigious title. We will not disappoint the Zai family." Gu Guanting immediately kowtowed on the floor with tears streaming down his face. He would have never expected that the Azure Cloud Sect would one day become an elite sect, and all because of one individual Hong Yuer. Unbelievable. Liu Lanjai was speechless. Well, considering the Azure Cloud Sect's current standing, it's not weird that they were given the title of elite sect. Bai Lihua said. "I'm actually more surprised that they didn't do it sooner." She then turned to look at the Profound Blossom Sect and thought to herself, "You guys may be next in line to become an elite sect." Sometime later, the Azure Cloud Sect left the Colosseum to celebrate their new status, and the matches continued.